And we're live. Okay, guys. Well, it's Whitehouse Films here with Michael Wise. If you want me to call me that there. Welcome to Modeler's Corner. This is a surprise live stream, which I've maybe doing at some stage because it's just an easy way for me to just show you guys what I'm currently working at. But also, I thought it would also be fun to actually invite some other modelers to the live stream and to they too can actually share some screen time and actually showing off some of the works. So with me in this live stream is Mr. Tardis Rescue or Daniel Long.
Hello.
And also Mr. Georgia, otherwise known as SodorsNWRSteam.
Hello.
Hello. Now, as you can see here, both Fern and George have their webcam on, but unfortunately, Dan has to turn his lens cap on because he's currently working on some little item which he might reveal on. Is that my correct?
Well, I'll reveal it now because you said we're doing the modeling thing, and I looked through my unbuilt kits, and I found that.
Oh, nice.
But I don't think I can do much on that in 2 hours, so I'm actually working on this.
Awesome. And George, what are you working on?
Oh, what am I working on? Well, at the moment, I think we'll have a go at painting this, which is a very old Meridian kit of Midlander of Teleclin Railway.
Lovely. And for me, I'm going to be working on an item which I'm going to be building for the Bush Engines film. So, just a quick explanation of what I'm going to be using here. So, in the majority of the film here, which I'm making, there's going to be the appearance of these Dapple or old Kitmaster X kits, and as you can see, I built one of these earlier on, true Blue Peter fashion. But today, I'm actually going to try something a bit different because I'm going to have a go at tackling this kit. This is the Wills Craftsman Series, the CK222 Water Mitt. And it's going to be quite a bit of a challenge for me because it's like scratching in a type of way. And as you may have seen on Twitter or other parts of my YouTube thing, I've scratch building before. And here's one of my examples of scratch building. This is for our sheds for the film, for Branch Angles. It's currently going through its stages right now. But all this here, as you see in previous live streams before, it's all highly made out of Will's Craftsman's sheet. And it's just being put together, made using a card kit, a reference guide. All this is going to be covered by the carriage anyway. But yeah, it's still a few more bits and bobs to get sorted out on it. And but yeah, that's currently what it is so far. But that's not what I'm going to be on tonight. I'm going to have a go at working with your boy. So as with all modelers, you have to have your tools. So first of all, I'll just turn the camera off, so don't focus on me. When you're working on kits like here, you must always have good sharp scalpel and a pack of spare blades, which I don't think they're downstairs in the work, so I might have to later on and get those. Steel rule, you need to cut anything straight. Of spruik snips, if whenever you might need them for some stage. That's the laptop there. A paintbrush for when you're using the glue, and of course the glue itself, which will liquid pulp. So, and also, two of you also need, which are very important for buildings, is a good drink review. So I've got some pear and raspberry cider. Oh no, sorry, no, it's mango and raspberry cider. There you go.
Wish I thought ahead now.
Also, then I've also got a couple of snacks as well. Now I've got some Lidl versions of those. These are called Neros, Nero, whatever you call these. We'll keep them fed up to build. And last of all, what every morning is blasphemy, because at some point during the build, something is bound to go wrong. So you must have your swear words at ready, and they're said at the appropriate time. So. So let's see. What do we got going on in the chat here? I'm just going to check out the way the chat is so far. Okay. So good. Right. That's what I expected. Oh yeah, there we go. On the wrong link there. Ah, here on. I put the video as unlisted by accident, so people know we're live.
Oh, so we haven't been live yet.
So we have been live, but not been live.
Yeah, we haven't been live, but not live yet. So let's see. We'll try again. See.
That's a fun situation, like Schrodinger's live stream.
I was going to say if there is a link to like what viewers will see, I'll happily.
I don't know what the viewers will see, but I could probably do a recap just so that I know exactly what we said.
Sure.
Yeah. So we'll reverse back in time. So what did I say from the very start? Yeah.
Hello, my name is Michael.
Thank you. Hello, folks. Films here. This is kind of like a recapping of what has just been said earlier on, because I didn't realize I actually had the video on listed instead of public. So yes, it's just a read what I said before. So welcome to Mo's Corner. This is a new series of live streams I'm thinking about doing in the future. These are going to be like little surprise live streams, so you know exactly when they're going to be released. So that's how the term surprise is. And so, hang on a sec. Here. Your microphone glitching out, by the way. Wait, oh, is my microphone good tonight, guys?
Oh yeah, it's gotten a bit worse.
Ah, shit. Hang on a sec.
It's a bit like a DJ with a record skipping about.
Right. It always has to be this microphone that does it. I don't know why.
I want to say it's more the connection than the microphone itself, to be honest.
How's that now?
That's good.
Okay. Well, this is my internal microphone now for the laptop, so. Oh,
wow, it really was the microphone and not. Okay.
I don't know why it didn't. It failed on me. So anyway, yeah. So as I was saying, welcome to Model's Corner, guys. Series of live streams, blah 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 blah. Surprise broadcasts, yada yada yada. So, so this is basically what happens in these live streams is that I'll be working on a little project for roughly about maybe an hour or two, and to show you guys how I went about building it. But I thought it might be interesting to actually include a few friends in the live stream, so that they too can also share exactly what they're building, and to share with you guys some hints and tips that they use for when it comes to making their models. So with me in the call is Mr. Daniel Long, aka Tardis Rescue. Say hello, Dan.
Hello.
Hello. And also with me is Mr. George Oakes, aka SodorsNWRSteam.
Hello.
So each of the boys have got their own models that they're going to be working on. And Dan, what have you got working there?
Let's look at it. It's a Dundas Models now. A Dundas Models World War I Class D bogie open wagon, which you can get as a ready-to-run thing for about £30. But I don't want to do that because I'm cheap. So I'm building the kit for like a tenner.
Nice. And George, what do you got working on?
Oh, well, I'm working on a Meridian Models model of Midlander from the Teleclin Railway, which is no longer available. And I wish I had one I made earlier.
All right. No worries.
But I'll just be painting it today, I should think.
Okay. And for me, what I'm currently working on is that I'm going to be making a building for Branchline Engines. Now, for those who have followed me on Twitter, you would have seen me share a few pictures of some items which are going to feature in Branchline Engines. And I'll just give you like some examples here. So I'm going to be featuring a few of these kits here of the Depot, Airfix, general stores. I've got a few more here of some of the other buildings like detached cottages and out there. And in true Blue Pier fashion, here's one I made earlier on for 3 shots. So that's just going to make up here, and I'm going to paint it up at layer stage just to blend it in with all the other buildings. But I'm going to try and work on something a bit different here, and this involves a bit of scratch building. Now, for those who have followed me on Twitter, you would have seen me work on or shared some pictures of a scratch build model, which is this one here, which is of Aqua Sheds. And this was made up using a series of Will's Craftsman scenic sheets and a few other various scenic sheets from various manufacturers. So this is just like just a really rough example. It's still not finished yet though, but this is currently at the stage that it is right now. So I'm just move my camera here for a second here because I keep going a wee bit off balance with this here. So there you go. That's there. So what I'm going to be working on now for this video is this kit. Now, this is the Will's Craftsman Series CK22 Watermill kit, and this is going to make a cameo feature in Branchline Engines. Now, Railway Series purists will say to me, "Oh, but hang on a second, Michael. There isn't a watermill on the Farquhar Branchline." Yes, I actually do agree on this here, but there is one nearby on the Arsdale Railway, and this is what I'm going to make it look. This is the watermill I'm going to be making. So it's going to make a cameo appearance somewhere, as maybe as a B-roll footage for the film. I don't know where, but I just want to have a watermill because I love watermills. They're quite nice, and yeah, that's what I'm going to work on. And just turn the camera up there so you can see what's going on. Okay, so I'll get that sorted. Get that unpacked in a second here. So, so I just want to explain to folks exactly what tools we're going to be using when it comes to building these models. First of all, you need a good scalpel. So this is what I have here, and you need to get some spare scalpel blades, which I forgot to pick up earlier on. So I'll maybe at some point go down and maybe get some more spare scalpel blades and see about doing it there. You need a good straight ruler if you need to cut anything straight. So if you're making buildings or so forth, it's always handy to have. A pair of sprue snips there if you're cutting out some sprues for a kit like Dan's making there. I don't know why I need this here, so I don't know why I picked it up. So I don't need that right now. Also, you need some putty as well because you never know when you might need it. You don't, however, need an airplane, which is flying by right now, so that's kind of a bit of a so. But also, what you would need is some glue. So I'm going to be using some liquid poly from Humbrol. I've got a full one here. This one's empty now, so I'm just putting that aside so I just could show you guys. But this one's just stuck down with some blue text, so I don't spill it. And also, what you would need as well. Two very important things. First of all, is food and nourishment. So I've got here a bottle of mango and raspberry cider, which it's quite nice. I actually do like that there. And I've got a packet of these are actually Lidl versions of Oreos. They're called Neros. I don't know why, but there you go. So I'll keep you going for a bit. And also, the last and most important thing that you need when it comes to making a model is blasphemy, because at some point something is bound to go wrong, and you will curse like Gordon Ramsay on a good day. So yeah, have your swear words at the ready for when you probably need them, which hopefully you don't need them in this video. But if I do, then I apologize. So also I just want to apologize as well because I've got a bit of a bad cough right now because I'm just recovering from a bad cold from last week here. So at some point you might hear me cough very heavily. So I apologize for that in advance. So that's pretty much us there. So sit back and enjoy the build and listen to us banter.
Do you know what, George? You're going to hate me for saying this. Do you know what I need at this moment in time?
What do you need?
Tweezers.
Yeah. Earlier I dashed off for
I have to mention the list here. Tweezers. Always make sure you have tweezers.
Now, I have some concerns on my end because I don't know if my camera's working.
It's on.
Okay.
However, what I can see is a Midlander with some black paint on it. Can you see any?
Oh no, I can't see that. Have you tried turning off and on again?
No, I can only see the Midlander with in grey. It's just sitting on its own.
We'll give turning off a go and see what happens.
Right, I'm just having a look in the chat here. There's somebody here called Mr. McHugh.
Oh, say hello.
Right.
They might be friendly.
It might be friendly. I just want to ask in advance here: is this actually the actual Ian McHugh? Because he commented on my videos a while back then, and I was very puzzled as to whether this is Ian or not. But if he is, well, how on earth has he managed to get hold of my channel?
The real Ian McHugh would never reveal himself to be Ian McHugh.
Maybe it is somebody. Maybe somebody else is pretending to be Ian. So, but if it is Ian, how you doing, mate? But yeah. Also in the chat is Troubleshooting Studios, or Aaron. So he knows I'm doing this live stream. So hello, Aaron. And other good fellow folk like Bluebells 5529, GT Brook Railway, Rosie the Kitty 1995, Angry Bird Fan 98. So they're all here. And of course, James Smith Studios. So hello, guys. If you guys want to spread the word that we're doing this live stream, feel free to do so. Because as you can see, I'm busy trying to sort out how to build this kit here then to share this stream. So if you guys want to do that, then feel free to do so. We want to see how many viewers we can actually get tonight. So yeah,
it does feel very weird to be streaming while building stuff. Because there's the camera. Because it's not something that I usually do. I usually, to be honest, when I'm building things, I will put on usually a sitcom.
Yeah.
So 22 minutes, something with jokes. And I'll just sit there in silence. So if I end up being quiet, do just prompt me, and I'll engage with things.
just to make sure you're still.
Just to make sure I'm alive, because if not, I will just be in my own little world, going, I'm just going to cut out this tiny little brake shoe. With that's off. Wondering where is everything?
Right. Let's see. I actually will be honest. This is the first time I've actually built one of these kits. So
that's all right. This is me facing my modelling fear of building something with bogies. I've never managed to build something with bogies that works as well as I want it to, in that it runs. Right. And there are, no, I feel like that's the basic point. That runs. George, you've got a Midlander with black on it.
Oh, goodness me. We're back in business.
Goodness me.
Where did that black come from?
And is that my hand? Oh, look, it's my hand. Oh,
what's it doing there?
I missed that. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but we're back in business, and you can see my beautiful streak of black on Midlander.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just getting plans out here.
So George, where did your Midlander? Where does it come from? What's its story?
Well, it's sadly not made anymore, but I do think that the Meridian license is held by Narrow Planet, I think.
Narrow Planet distributes them.
So perhaps it will come back in stock, one can hope. Anyway, it seems to depict Midlander earlier on in its life. It's not a particularly faithful representation of what you would find at the Talaclin Railway nowadays, although Midlander has many brothers and sisters that are around. And I suspect some of them probably look a bit closer to what you're seeing on my camera.
I really thought you were going to say, and I suspect some of them will be in the stream today.
And they're in the studio right now. Come on in, everyone.
Come on in.
Oh dear, we need a bigger door. Yes, well, I got this. I'm a member of the 009 Society. So every month they do a stock list of stuff they want to sell off from members. And one day it popped up, and I thought, well, I might as well get that and repaint it for my own requirements, but I've never actually painted it. As you can see, I got to the priming stage, and then it's sort of sat around, mainly because I haven't been able to decide on what colour to paint it. I'm not the biggest fan of locos in black. I wanted to go for a red, perhaps.
Yeah.
But the Railway Series purist in me has gradually beckoned towards a black.
Far be it from me to comment, but there he is, all covered in black.
Yeah, this is
that's your 16
big brother,
one, isn't it?
It's the slightly bigger one.
I like the blue tack. That's a nice feature there.
I can't even see it.
Oh, for the holding the lamp on.
Oh no, it's prototypical.
No, I mock, but that's
so is this wire here. That's just how they couple things on the Talaclin.
In fact, never go modelling without a good.
No, blue tack.
I mean, look at it,
my friend.
It can hold my car keys. Oh.
Your camera's not on now, George.
Pardon?
Your camera's off, buddy.
Yeah, no, it ran out of battery, so
I'm noticing a pattern here.
I'm well prepared.
What have we got?
but perhaps we'll turn it back on at a different angle.
Will we? Oh, blurred. My favourite angle.
Hooray. That's what we like to see, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't remember studying that in media school.
It's actually a French New Wave effect.
My goodness.
French Nouveau, you say?
Yeah.
Oh, so Nightbracer has just asked us, what are you boys up to? We're building models, mate. That's what we're doing.
I am feeling very sympathetic to anyone who tries to do tutorials, because it is damn hard to model without not. Oh, that's not gone right. With showing your hands, doing what's happening, isn't it?
Yeah, because I mean, when I did my 10-year live stream, there were times where I actually used to think to myself, like, how long will my camera battery last here? Because I think it was like during the time. No, it wasn't how long my camera battery lasted. It was actually how long the recording would go on for. Because when I press record, I have like a time limit of 10 to 20 minutes, and I have to try and see, like, can I get this all recorded within that time? So it's kind of like a bit of a race to try and get everything done before you've run out of time. And then if you run out of time, you have to go back and redo the entire thing again.
Yeah.
Even if it means dismantling the whole model.
That seems very stressed.
Yeah, it can be, like, but there you go. Plus the live stream, not the live stream, the video was behind time anyway, behind schedule, so I had to do something to keep it going. Half-Baked 8 says Rusty's identity has been censored for the sake of privacy.
We have to be considerate with regard to that sort of thing, so I think that's only right, yeah. Apologies for the camera outage. I'm gonna remount it on a tripod because I think that will probably make for better viewing.
I think mine was just sitting on a light stand.
Yeah.
Because tripod somewhere else.
Okay, let's see how that looks.
There we go. One bogey fitted with wonky wheel.
Aha! And look.
I'm looking.
We're in the sky.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
Now we are.
There we go. Ooh.
Hooray! The day is saved.
Thanks to the Powerpuff Girls.
And it's off again.
Well, thanks to the Powerpuff Girls.
It means, like, and then credits.
I'm suing the Powerpuff Girls.
I haven't seen the Powerpuff Girls for years, actually.
No. I think they did a remake. He says, sounding literally like my dad. Just go, I think they did something like this. I could check, but I don't want to.
That's it. That's the activity for tonight. We're just gonna watch
Keep
this
moving the
for
camera
hours.
around.
Yeah.
Yes.
And turn it off and on.
Yeah. I think that would be an achievement for me at this point. What we're going to do is bring some water over here. See, lovely, lovely clear water. Definitely not.
Let's see if we can do.
You're right there, like a Bob Ross moment there for a second.
So
we are going to bring our lovely little friend, the water, over here. And
this is the product of my what? How long are we doing this? 15 minutes?
It's all right. I've only just got the camera on.
I'm only just starting on, like, drawing out the windows to cut out.
Oh, but you see, you've got stuff like that to actually construct. I'm very much just pressing the button and go, right, this bit goes here, this bit goes. It's easy when it's an actual kit. So there you have the bogies. I'm actually making a very personal train. Because 778 went to Butterley in 2014. and she ran with the just rebuilt and refurbished Ashover coach and a World War One wagon.
Right.
So very, very slowly, I'm planning to sort of build that train, which is only a coach and a wagon.
Yeah.
But I sort of want it. And key to that, in many ways, is working out how to do the bogies in a way which works. Which is, as I say, something I've never managed to do. Because the wagon and the coach both run on the same sort of bogies, though different kit manufacturers. I think the Ashover coach kit is Meridian,
Right.
now distributed by Narrow Planet. Have I got power?
Yeah, it's a lovely job you've done there.
Well,
that
you know,
locomotive.
the you know, just like your Thomas, George.
Yes.
I think that all of the love should go to that.
Hornby came to me and said, "George,
we like it so
we're
much.
thinking of developing the Thomas the Tank Engine range.
Kid, you've got talent."
And as you can see, last year they revoked the license. So
they decided you didn't. It was the Edward debacle, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a very controversial choice.
Yeah, well.
Let's see.
No, you do like to put your windows in weird places.
Let's see.
Incredible that the best thing I can contribute is really just me gently painting this model, because someone else has soldered it together and done a very nice job of it.
Yeah. It's a solder one.
Pardon?
It's a solder one, yeah?
Yes, yeah, well, it's white metal. Oh, no, sorry. It is a brass kit. Well, okay. Well, I think the cab's brass, at least.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, yeah, white metal and brass, and someone's put it together tightly. Everything's in place, and it's I've no issue with that, really.
I should say I have no criticism of the Bachman Baldwin. It hasn't run for more than about 5 minutes, and this is the dirtiest bit of track in the world. Wanted to see if it could handle that. I like running trains.
I can't remember the last time I actually ran my far car. Like, it's probably been since last April, I think. No, sorry, not last April. In November. It was the last time I ever ran it.
Yeah.
So, goodness no, I must check and see if it's still working okay. I can wait time. Right, why is this? Why is it like that? It shouldn't be. Oh, that's fine. Maybe it isn't.
So I'm just starting the very thin black wash here, perhaps a little too thin.
A black wash, you say?
A black wash. Well, it's very watery paint. So I think that's probably the most appropriate thing to say.
I'm trying to remove this here because I've got the pen lines in the wrong place.
Oh, damn.
Nope, it's bothered. Yeah, first group. Start again. Oh, the joys of scratch building. It's fun stuff, isn't it, kids?
You know, I thought this would take me longer than it has done. But having looked at the body and realizing that it's 4 pieces, I suspect the build bit might be slightly less long than I anticipated.
I told you, build it. Find a kit that can last you for 2 hours to build or more.
Yeah, but I've been putting this off because I thought it'd be much more fiddly than it is.
Yeah.
I think what I'd like to ask you both is, as modelers, how often do you find yourself getting tired of working on something? Do you both see stuff through, or if you stay on it long enough, do you find yourself moving on to other projects?
I'll let you go first, Dan.
Oh, I try and choose projects that don't take me very long to do at all. Actually, case in point, right? Any building you see in one of my sets, like take the Christmas video, and you probably saw this. It is my vague model of Dolgok Station, and I took out the wooden plank, and it was Rory shed, which he didn't fit in, but that's by the by. And you look at it, and on screen you're like, yeah, that looks nice. Yeah, that looks nice. Oh, that just about works, even though you can see this bit in here that I didn't paint. And then you look behind, and you go, oh, he just gave up there. He didn't give up. He just went, no one's going to see that bit. That'd not bother. So I keep it short. I try and keep it simple. Actually, that station was probably the most time-consuming thing I've built in a while, because each roof bit is a strip of slate which you have to cut out, not individually, but it's just time-consuming. I don't think I could do cut-out slates. That was boring enough. But I do try and... I'm too lazy, George. I do keep my projects short and simple so that I finish them. What about you, Michael?
When it comes to building models, it depends exactly which one I'm making, really. So, well, say for example, let's take for example my Far Cry Branch one, the recent one I made up. That was all built under a fraction of 1.5 years. So I started the build in January 2015, and it had to be ready for November 2016. So I was trying, at the same time I was also in the process of studying at university. So I had to try and try and juggle time, but also meet a deadline as well. So as well as other deadlines. So it was only whatever time I had free that I would spend working on the layer and try and get as much. So say for example, if I had the summer off, which I usually do, I would devote as much time as I possibly can to the layer and say, like, okay, how far can I get here before I need to go back to university? So that summer of 2015, it took me about we pretty much got as far as getting like all the track laid, and I think I got most of the scenery built up at that stage. But there's still need to be done on it. So at the moment, though, so I think I pretty much got like most of the hillside made up somewhere. And then after then, there was time to sort out the electrics. That's what it was. All throughout that summer, I was trying to sort the electrics, installing all the point motors, and trying to get it all tied up in that there. That was quite a nightmare to do.
I suppose as a job, it's not quite as attractive as building an engine or something like that.
Well, I find building an engine a bit more challenging than actually building a layout, because you have to. The main thing is that you want the thing to run at the end. By the end of the day. So it's trying to get to that stage where you think like, okay, let's see, can this thing work? And if it does, then you have to give it like a wee running test. So I think the main test is for like a model is to see, can it pull, is it 10 coaches? Yeah. So if it pulls 10 coaches, then you've got a good model. So that's what it is. Unfortunately, I don't actually have 10 coaches. So a simple loop around the layout and following the Farquhar timetable, that's pretty much good enough for me. So
yeah. Well, I think it depends on the demands you want and what you've got as well.
Sorry?
It depends on what it's meant to be doing on the layout as well, I suppose.
Yeah, because I mean, like for Thomas, like for example, his main purpose really was just pull passenger trains. That's it. But yeah. He just meant to pull 2 coaches and that's it. Just does a loop of the layout. That's him.
So, like in the same way that if you had a shunter, like
that's
like you wouldn't. It would be nice if it could pull longer, but at the same time, it just means that you arrange what you're doing so it'll They'll be shunting on with a couple of wagons or something.
Yeah, so funny enough, I actually do have my personal model here, which is a modified Backman one, so it's not really all that good, really. I'll grant you this here. But it's what I could make. It's what I could do within the time limit. But it was I had to try and make. I had to do a few things so that first of all to try and make sure that the motor, the chassis ran smoothly. That was one important thing because I'm using spark-winkle couplings. You need to make sure you're running at a slow pace, otherwise you won't know whether or not your train's uncoupled or not.
Yeah.
And then, but then also, as well as having as well as it running slowly, there you need to be strong as well. So that's another main thing. So, because I think the maximum per seat pulls on the car is 5 wagons and a brake van in total. That's including quarry trucks as well, but I still have to make up the quarry trains properly for the old version. I've got the wagons for the Mark II layer, but not the ones for the Mark I version, which were just basically just standard open wagons, really. Right. So that cut every second. I just need to blow my nose for a second because my nose is all stuffed up.
No problem. What about you, George? Given you asked the question, let's turn it back on you.
Well, I said this to you before. I think for me, it's kind of a get in, get out, one night kind of deal.
Yeah.
Which actually sounds way more adventurous than it is. But the fact of the matter is that if I don't make substantial progress on a model in my first night of trying, then I do tend to get bored and move on to something else.
Yeah.
Well, for example, I can't remember when I took this Midlander out and primed it, but it has been sitting around for a good year at least.
Yeah.
Conversely, if we actually move this out of the way, it's Rheneas here. He's not finished by any length, but he's had a fair bit of work done to him in terms of presentation, and that's probably a night's work. What else do we have here? Duncan, actually. Oh, I've just knocked the camera off. We'll get that. Duncan here. That was a night's work as well. So I think as well, it depends on what's required.
Yeah.
Because a lot of that for me was pipe work.
Yeah.
It's not a diverse set of things to do. It's just bending some stuff.
No, but I find it's the sort of bits where you have to get into a rhythm of it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm very lazy.
Oh, that's a lot of modelling, I think. Yeah.
Oh dear. So I'm always looking for a quick fix.
Yeah.
And then being very disappointed when one doesn't just turn up. Why can't you just build my model?
Oh, if I don't find a quick fix, that'll be another year that the model sits around waiting. Probably. At least. In fact, Duncan was the first 009 engine I built, which is probably going on 2 years back now. So first it was the painting, and the assembly. Then came the lining, and then came the pipe work in one thing a year.
First it was this bit, and then it got complicated.
Yeah. Lining actually really I do get really bored of at times.
Yeah.
Do you use transfers for your lining?
I do. I use HMRS transfers. I think I got them recommended by Dan, so I suspect that's what he also uses.
I think, yeah, generally speaking.
I've ratted you out, yeah.
Oh, I've undone as always by you.
Yeah.
I go for the. I sometimes use transfers or pinstripes, but I sometimes use bow pens.
No, bow pen. I'd love to be able to be bothered to learn how to use a bow pen.
It's actually not hard, really. I've got 2 here at the moment. I think are they German made?
Because I keep meaning to. One of the projects that I keep meaning to build is a little vintage train for my Dapol Ginty, which would be an O gauge, and I want it to have a couple of Midland 6-wheelers, and delivery on that is just beyond what I'd want to do with transfers.
Yeah. I've tried actually making my own transfers using my bow pen for Stepney model, but didn't really turn out as well as I hoped it would. So it's pretty much stuck like that for the moment. Until I can get around to do it. But I'll tell you what was very hard to do, because I had to because what happened was the because I was working off a photograph of the original Stepney model that Revnology made. I had to look at it there, and I noticed that he actually handwritten, like hand painted the name and numbers. And I think to myself, like, how on earth did he manage to do that? And then there's a chance of me saying to myself, like, okay, so if he can do it, let's see what are the chances of me being able to try this here and see how long it would take before I bugger it up. Which resulted in quite a number of times of buggering up. So Stephanie went through quite a number of repaints every now and again until I finally got to a stage where I thought to myself, right, this is the right size for the font, and just need to be very carefully paint each letter on both sides. So like spend one day like just painting his name on one side and just breathe for a bit, and like come back another stage and say like, okay, let's do another bit.
No, my eyes would go fuzzy.
Oh, my eyes went cross-eyed at the end of it.
As long as it was only at the end of it.
Yeah.
I know. I end up. What is the phrase? Sort of the double thing of being bored and frustrated, and then it's not fun, and then I put it in a box, and then
frustrated.
Say like, yeah, frustrated, and then about 6 months later, I will look at it and go, "Wow, I got really far on this. Why did I stop?" And then I start again and get frustrated again. Oh dear.
I expect
folks, if you look up frustrated in a dictionary, you will actually see the definition. It would say this is the state a railway modeler gets when he gets very bored and stressed whilst working on a model.
And things that are fun just aren't fun anymore. Well, it happens with me a lot, like video editing. I get very frustrated with video editing, and then I look back at what I've done and go, "Oh wow, I got so far. Yeah. Why did I stop?" I've been editing a short film since August. Don't tell anyone. And it has been just. And occasionally I will look back and go, "Oh, I don't want to do this. It's got a really complicated technical bit." And then I look at it and go, "Oh no, I did the really complicated technical bit. I just had to do about a shot, and I could have had this done months ago. Help."
Sometimes you just don't know how much left you've got to punch through that brick wall.
Yeah. Until you find, and when you finally do break that brick wall, you then get fined because you've damaged a historical landmark.
Conversely, wow, you've damaged that historical landmark, and no one else has done that. So well done.
Apart from Donald Trump, but then he's.
No, I was just thinking we probably have quite a lot of modelers in the chat.
You probably are more interesting than we are.
You are far more interesting than we are. So I'd like to ask people in the chat if there's any models that they are particularly proud of.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
They could teach us.
Yeah. So folks in the chat there, what models have you been working on that you're so proud of achieving? Do tell, because we're very interested.
Yeah. I mean, there are modelers in the fandom that absolutely blow my mind.
Yeah. Diesel TV. I mean, seriously, he is.
Oh yes.
He just astounded me when I saw his Thomas replica. I was like, wow. Explosive cookie. That's one hell of a bird. Yeah, I get plenty of them every day. The hummingbirds are the worst ones, actually. They're very nosy buggers. Actually, this is a kind of funny story. Actually, there was actually one time when a helicopter actually just hovered above my house, and they just hovered there, just looking down on us. we were busy working on some stuff, and we just looked up there and we thought like, so they're validating our privacy. What are you guys doing? Leave us alone. I think this happened to my granddad at one stage, like years ago. He was in the field because one of his cows was in calf, and just whilst he was working away, this big searchlight just beamed down on top of him like something out of Close Encounters. He looked up and there was this giant helicopter, this army helicopter, looking down over him, wondering what was going on. They thought he was like some escaped convict or something.
It was just a farm.
All hellfire at the helicopter. And he was like saying, you know, what the hell are you doing here? What are you doing? Get away! Go away here! You're disturbing my cows and all there. It was not until he threw his walking stick at the helicopter, striking it with a good deal of force, that they actually thought to himself, "Okay, we better back off from this guy."
Mm.
And so
maybe he is an escaped convict.
Yeah.
Nope, he's just he's just an angry farmer. Escaped convict would have a gun. This guy's got a walking stick. Right, that's one wall ready. Let's do the other. Yay. I can actually now imagine the stress my granddad, Lord rest him, actually went through when he built my post office model. Because when I first got into relay modeling, one thing I really always loved it was actually having something that had like something that relates to the post office or like postman and all that there stuff, because I just found it pretty interesting. And so I went to tell me if this ever happens to you guys. Do you ever go to a model shop and you're looking for this one specific model, and you ask the guy at the counter, I would like to have a model of this here or a kit of this here, and they straight out give you a different kit altogether.
Yeah,
it's not what you want, but they say like, you know, oh no, buy this here. This is better. Yeah. So I wanted to get the Hornby post office set. Like you remember that one?
Oh yeah, vaguely. Yeah.
So yeah, I really wanted to get that there because they re-released it back then. I think it was like 2002 or something like that. And I went into the model shop, and it was the only model shop that I knew at the time. And I says to him like, you know, I would like a kit of a post office, please, because I really like post office. And I says I would like a Hornby one, but he said he goes around and he picks up the Wills Craftsman one, and he says, "There you go." And I says, "But that's not what I wanted." He says, "I'm sorry, this is the only one we have." But anyway, you like it? It's a good build. And I was like, "Okay." So, but I was very young at that stage. I think it was probably about 9 or so. So I was still in the early stages of becoming a modeler. And so my granddad was. He used to make model boats out there. In fact, I actually have his boat that he made before he got Parkinson's and he had to stop modeling it. But that was like one of the last things he gave me was his model boat, because he knew how much I loved it. I'm so attached with it, and I've since his passing there, I actually took it down and had looks up there, and I decided to just clean it up there because it was still covered in dust from where it was up on the shelf before, or stored in the attic there. So I just gave it a good clean up and admiring about how much work and all he spent on it. But anyway, yeah, I gave my granddad this kit there, and he spent about 3 weeks working on building this post office thing. And when he gave it back to me, it was like a really professionally turned out model. So I was like, wow. I'm staggered. And he says to me, like, you know, let me know if you have any other buildings you need, so I can build them up for you.
Oh.
So the last building he made for me was what was the last building kit he made? It was the Metcalf workers' cottages for my first Farcore there. Those are the last buildings he made for me before I'm fit to do any more modeling.
Oh.
Well, yeah, he was a good lad.
So I suppose he must have been quite an influence on your modelling as well.
Yeah, he had a bit of an impact. His death was quite a bit of an impact on me because he was the only granddad who actually got to know more. The one who my other granddad, he used to work for the railways of Northern Ireland. So that's I think it was through him that my interest in railways came from.
Yeah.
he worked as a signalman on a small stretch of line, and his father before him was the station master of the line that he worked on.
Oh, okay.
So he died when I was about 1.5 years old. So
yeah,
I didn't really know much about him. I just had to hear from stories that my dad tells me. He was a good lad. I only have a vague memory of him, but that's all I can remember. Right, not very much. This is a very blurred memory. But yeah, my other granddad there, he was with me for most of all my life there, and the sad thing is that he was very supportive of me when he found out I actually got a job as a voice actor for that children's series Pablo.
Yeah,
and he wanted to see the final item because he wanted to see me on television. But sadly, he didn't live long enough. He died in February 2017. So
I think it's nice that he would have known before.
I know. He knew before that there, and he was all very excited out there. The last thing I can actually still remember, the last words he said to me, and it still has quite a bit of impact on me. There was a thing that I used to do was that he always reads a specific paper. And every time I went to the shops, I would specifically go and pick it up for him, buy him a copy, and I would leave it in with him, and he would always congratulate me, or would say he used to call me. He used to say, "Your son, Pop." That's what he used to call me. Or sometimes he used to call me Hector. I don't know why. He just calls me Hector sometimes. I don't know if that was my nickname or my dad's nickname. I can't remember. But he when he was in hospital, I couldn't find the paper that he read there, so I just said to him, like, when he was awake and I saw him, he just looked up at me, and he was very tired out there, and he looks up to me and he says, "Oh, there's the man. There's the man." That's what as another nickname, he calls me the man. And I says to him, I says, "Well, mate," I says, I'm sorry I couldn't get your papers here. I'll have to file a complaint to the news agents. And then the last words he said to me was, "Don't worry about it, kid. That's all right. Don't worry about it." Those are the last words he said to me. He's such an impact on me. Anyway, modeling.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this Will's kit that you're working on, so you have to draw out all the bits for it.
Yeah, I have to draw out all the bits where. So actually, I'll just show you up here. So I've drawn out all these bits here, where all these bits I've screwed in. These are all where I have to cut out. So once I get them all cut out, I can see by pasting the kit together, install the windows and so forth. So I think this is kind of the most time-consuming part of the kit build.
Yeah.
So, but one thing I forgot to mention here for this build is that I'm going to fit one of these motors into it now. This is a 3 motor. This is I think these are made in China actually. These are like these little geared motors that I've seen some people use, and I think I saw there's a fellow on RM Web called Turbo Snail who fits his engines with these motors. So, but these I first came across these on a YouTube channel called Budget Model Railways, and they have these things called Tutorial Tuesdays. And one of them featured a young lad making a dapple windmill, and he actually fitted one of these motors into it.
That's clever.
So these motors actually don't cost very much. They're actually about £3 actually. I got this one for like £3 for 2, so I've got a spare one there if I need it. So I'm going to fit this into this model, and that's going to turn the water wheel around. Now the one thing I actually will have to try and think of as well is that. I just want to remind people here that Brass Engines there's going to be very little computer-generated effects in this here. In fact, as far as I can tell, there's only going to be one CGI effect in the entire film, and it's only going to be it's going to appear in the opening credits. So it's going to be like Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. They actually used all the CGI bit for the opening credits, and for the rest of the film, they just went with hand-drawn animation. I thought it was pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, nice.
You ever seen it?
Sorry?
Have you seen Mask of Phantasm?
No, but I remember the original Batman series. Like,
you have to check out Mask of Phantasm. It's a work of art.
Yeah.
I've seen this actually a few years ago, and I have to agree.
All right.
I've never been particularly into Batman as a franchise, but I think the art style in that is wonderful.
Yeah, because I think it's because like they were trying to capture a mood that hasn't really been properly captured on television, really. Because I've seen like various examples where you have like I think it was like any Batman stuff was done like similar to the style of Hanna-Barbera type animation, like Flintstones and all other stuff, and it has that little goofy sound effects. And it wasn't really like strong, dark openings or dark storylines. It was more or less like, the Joker's doing this here and out there, and it's just something very comical related out there. But when you watch Batman the animated series, the story plot's been more different. Like, so it's just like, so for example, I think it's the Laughing Fish is one of them. Joker, which is again is also based off actual comic book. Joker actually puts what do you call it? Is it Joker? Joker Venom, that's what it's called. Joker Venom into like a waterline, and it turns it makes all the fish come out with giant smiles on their faces. So Joker tries to file a copyright type thing to say that he owns these fish because they bear his signature smile. To which point he then finds out saying that the rights holders organization said, like, but you can't copyright fish if they're actually fish. You can't do that. They're fish. At which point Joker actually loses his mind. He goes like, well, I'll get my revenge here. You have until this certain amount of time to get my fish copyrighted. Otherwise, this will happen. Something bad's going to happen to you. Which it does. And it can be crazy. It's quite terrifying in some parts. But
I'll have to check it out.
Oh, I definitely check it out. It's a good episode. But there are also some episodes that also like hit home, like like really strong messages in it. Or I don't want to give much story plots away, like, but there is one. I think it's called Baby Doll. That is one heck of a tearjerker. That one.
Yeah, well, I've heard nothing but acclaim for it throughout the years.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just want to make a quick mention to the chat, going back a little bit. With Luke mentioned that he'd been working on a 3D printed Percy, and I feel, if he doesn't mind, I just want to put it in there. My camera's going to work. Ooh.
Yep. That's really good.
There we go. That's this is Percy, which, if you've seen my videos, he was in one of the Christmas stories I did
last year.
Yeah, last year. Modeled by Luke. His skills with that are just wonderful. So I was very grateful. I think there's a Trains model available. I really hope I haven't got my information wrong, because otherwise,
you'll look a fool.
I will look like a fool, and I've never looked like that before.
No,
so
it proceeds to fall off chair.
Yeah.
Oh, you laughed.
Don't worry, I muted just in time. I'm on the floor now.
Oh, I'm glad you caught yourself this time, because
it's
always a bit embarrassing for us to listen to you just
die. Of course, yeah, no, absolutely. Percy's on my head. There's just a delay with the video.
So, yeah, I think I've got a Percy in the works as well here, but the model is away, having a chassis fitted onto it there. So it's a it's going to be it's made up to be like a replica of Raven Audrey's Percy. So
I absolutely love the approach you have with that. Yeah. That's fantastic.
Because that's what I want to do. Like, that's going to be a bit of a spoiler for Brown Strange, because Percy's appearance in Brown Strange is he's going to be bearing the appearance that he's meant to have, but wasn't portrayed in the books or the TV series. So, and as you may have seen in one of the trailers, George here actually voices Percy.
I do.
Dun, dun, dun.
Goodness, sorry.
You had no idea.
I didn't know.
It all happened so fast.
Did I get a letter in the post or something?
Well, I do remember sending you a check.
Oh, that one.
And it was received and cashed, and I was very grateful.
Yes.
As Mr. George's solicitor.
Yeah. Let's just bring the The wonders of a tripod. Let's bring the camera down a little. Ooh, ooh. Something's going to go horribly wrong, but that's okay because we're used to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's a bit of tack poking out there. Let's give Percy a face.
Hey.
Yeah. Give him a perch. Whilst I pretend I know how to model, you can keep an eye on all the lovely people in the chat. That's that's a Ethel Coldy face, I think. So, yeah. Happy chappy.
Happy Percy.
She's a little uncomfortable. That face makes me.
You won't be sleeping tonight then, I take it.
Oh no, no.
No.
Okay.
The chairmeister, I couldn't comment on that at all.
What can't you comment on?
Do I still have the 1993 wooden railway tanker face?
Oh, yeah.
Which is really going back in many years. Moving on. What did you achieve, Dan? You sounded very happy.
Oh, well, if you give me a year and a half, I will show you.
I can give you a year, but no more. Michael, have you got any
is this
years in your back pocket?
I'm enjoying this Brexit-esque negotiation.
Oh, yeah.
Happy Brexit Day, everyone.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
happy Brexit Day. Hope you all have a good time. Hope you all kept nice and warm outside Westminster. No bonfires now.
No bonfires. Well, you know what they say about the last honest man to go into Parliament, Guy Fawkes.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to him?
I don't know. I think he went somewhere pretty hot.
Venezuela. I
the
see.
House of Lords.
I think I'm a little behind.
I hope it's the House of the Time Lords.
Oh, I think I might have to stop doing things in a second.
The Time Lords is a government.
Right.
So if the Time Lords were involved during this time of Brexit, we could just be saying, they can easily go back in time, just rethink things over.
That sounds very anti-democracy.
Forbidden to interfere.
Forbidden, yeah, like a time forbidden to interfere.
Yeah.
And they'd never want to stop it, the sly boots.
Yeah.
Unless Peter Capaldi's there just to stand at a barn. Yeah, I was watching Peter Capaldi doing Doctor Who the other night there, and he was doing the famous Zygon speech.
Oh, lovely.
It's pretty good. Then I think I also saw the late John Hurt. There's a video of the late John Hurt actually reading the Zygon speech. It's actually even more powerful.
Wow.
Oh, he's terribly good.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Oh, God, that's cosmos.
So, having told you that my number one fear with this, I can't get it on the track, has always been the bogey bit.
Yeah. It
moves.
It works.
It has no couplings.
It's going up quite a gradient.
Yeah.
A mountain engine.
It's going down quite a gradient, but at least we know the brakes work.
Use whatever gradient you want, frankly.
Oh, wow. Oh, I like the light. Yeah.
Awesome. Ooh, right here, I'll be back in a second. I'm just going to have a quick break to relieve myself.
It's the last model I got from my model shop, actually. Always use your model shops.
Mm.
They're terribly good. I say that because mine's shutting down.
With Michael on a break, Dan, It's our opportunity to take over and let anarchy reign.
What are we going to do?
I was thinking to keep modelling, actually.
Oh,
yeah.
That doesn't sound very anarchic.
No, but to be honest, I haven't got the right materials, and it's dark outside, so I think I'll just keep working on Rusty.
Rusty is not Rusty is not in focus.
No. I could. Oh, I see. Well, two can play at that game. Yeah.
Oh, you showed me.
He looks absolutely awful so far. Not yours, mine. Yours looks lovely.
No, yours looks all right.
Well, the thing is, I'm not used to painting with a camera in my face. It's very difficult.
I forgot that I was modelling with a camera, and as such, what you ended up with for quite a bit of that was just the cutting board.
Yeah.
Just so that I wouldn't have to suffer through the ignominy of working out how the hell to put these bits in.
I'm just hoping that the end result will be okay and justify the horrific means.
Oh no, I don't. I have many doubts. Oh, where the? Oh no, it's there.
How many coats do you tend to go for, Dan, when painting? What's your preference?
Depends.
Enlightening.
I hope that was useful.
Yeah. No, I'll take that with me into my future ventures. So, Michael, you're back with us. What's your favourite model that you've made? That's what I'd like to know.
Favourite one? Oh God. Well, for the moment, it's my branch line engines model of Thomas when he's back from the works.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
No, because I just want to point out here, Dan and George have actually seen the model, but I'm not going to show you guys what it is. What's going on?
Oh, that's
that's the case. I can't show you his model until
that's just cheeky.
No, because I want to keep it as a bit of a surprise for you guys, just to see how it turns out.
Of course, yeah.
But because that's the thing. Like, I mean, I would show that I would have shown the building process, but there wasn't really much to show really. But yeah, it basically Thomas is just made up using one of the Sparkshot Custom Creations kits and that there. So there's not really much to explain about it, but it's just But I think one of the great achievements there was actually because I didn't use decals for that model at all. So when you see his number, that's actually hand painted or hand drawn actually, because I used gel pen for it.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
So, but yeah, still quite a lot of models which are still being made up for this film, and there is one particular model which a friend of mine has actually helped me out with this here. So it's still a slow work in progress on that, but when you see it in the film, it's going to look quite good. But I'll not say what it is because again, surprise. I want to keep something as a surprise. But yeah, people will then ask me, like, how far is Branch Sciences in the making? So it's slowly getting there. It's slowly starting to make progress. Filming is going to take place this summer.
It is so nice hearing someone who's actually organised. Well, you compare it to like, talking to George or anyone talking to me. It's like, when are they filming it? Like, it is a genuine sort of, well,
yeah.
Yeah.
I could do it now.
Oh, I don't answer. I just jump out of the nearest window.
Oh, I've done that.
Yeah. How was the floor?
Usually when I'm doing Christmas things.
Yeah.
And they say, how's filming on that going? And I'll say, excuse me 1 second, and fly off the roof like Kermit the Frog in that GIF.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yep. But
I spent all of last year basically getting the cast together because I can say let me see how many is actually the cast. There's a lot. I'll grant you that. I think there's roughly 28 people.
Wow.
So most of them are only doing just a few one-liners, really. But there are some voices out there who I'm actually surprised actually managed to get on board. Like Ryan, for example, I didn't think I would be able to get him on board, but he just jumped at the opportunity to voice Daisy again. So I was like, wow.
It's quite an iconic voice.
He is. And when you hear him do it live, like it's even more funnier. But yeah, Ryan was saying to me that the other week there, because we met up at Butley. Me and Dan also met up at Butley as well. No, it was the event was held at Swanwick, but you get the idea. But Ryan was asking me, like, how's Daisy's model coming along? And I says, well, I haven't got around to making it yet because the model hasn't arrived yet in the post. I'm still waiting for it. I would like to say what he said in return, but I might have to age restrict this video. But let's just say he wasn't pleased. But I then looked into it there. It turned out the person who I bought the model from, he sent it off to the wrong address. So
right.
Somebody else ended up getting the model.
What a surprise for Ryan when he collected his post and found a Daisy model waiting for him.
Hey, sir, what is this here doing in my post? Yeah, I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for Ryan's still recording lines for Daisy at the moment. At the moment now, he's away on holiday right now. He'll be home tomorrow. He's away in New York for a week.
Lovely.
So he's really enjoying it. From what I saw, he's really enjoying himself. But he said,
but enjoyment doesn't get the lines done.
Don't worry. I asked him about them, man. He says that he's basically getting them all together. He's I sent them all in one big file. He sent me a few samples as to how he's sounding. My God, they're really funny. He said on Twitter the other night there that he's basically recording Daisy's lines, but he says that most of it is actually all improv. Vibrations, which I did say to him, like, you can put some in if you think it's suitable, not there. Boy, there was a lot of improv. So I have to sit very carefully through all this here now just to see. But yeah, he made me laugh each time, like, I think it was also one stage. There was one evening there. We went out to tea, and Ryan was, I don't know what, I forgot what Ryan was talking about now, but he literally had me in fits of laughter. Like, literally, my face was purple. And Ryan looked over, looked. Everybody around the table there, they were all like joining the whole laughter there. But then they saw me literally. I nearly collapsed to the ground because I was laughing so hard. He looked up there and he looked over at Stephen McGregor, or Professor Legends, and he was like saying, "You're all right, Michael?" And Stephen just says, "I think you've just broken him." He's like, "Oh, I think I have."
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you had me still laughing for another, I don't know, 15 minutes, I would have actually ended up dying like that guy from the Goodies. He lost the Goodies.
Yeah.
Apparently, somebody actually did die from laughter, but apparently it was due to like a heart condition he had.
Wow.
Yeah. His wife actually ended up sending a letter to the Goodies, actually thanking them for making her husband's moments the best they ever been. His last minutes. Died a happy man.
Well, at least you're still here and with us. I'm modelling.
Oh, don't say it. Otherwise, I might cap out.
Oh, I hope not.
If I die very suddenly, people will then be saying, like,
where's Branchline Engines?
Who's gonna write the stories now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I just want to shout out now. This is the only time I'm going to talk about my work on Thomas here. I'm not the new head writer. Okay? I'm not the new head writer. People are actually predicting I am. I'm not. If I was given the job as the head writer for Thomas, I would be crapping myself so much. I have not got that power. I mean, I would love to, but it'd be too much. It'd be too much of a responsibility for me.
We can actually confirm it's the random man from eBay who is selling the DMU.
He's actually misdirected all the scripts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The model is late because it sat in the office at well, we couldn't reveal that either, but
we can reveal that the new head writer actually made for the production a new model of Boko. Got lost in the post.
Got lost in the post.
Yeah.
Really terrible chain of events.
So they had to rewrite all of the special Boko's Return.
Yeah. Oh, what an episode that would have been.
Well, what a special that would have been.
Yeah, what a series. Oh, sorry, shouldn't have said that.
Big Boko, Big Adventures.
Hashtag spin-off.
90 minutes long, and that's just the season opener.
But we couldn't reveal any of that.
No.
There were slugs the size of pigs.
Right, we're talking back. Oh, I love that film. Beware the moon. That's just
Right.
That's pretty funny.
Rusty's got a bit of red.
So you've got Rusty with her dash of his sort of dash of buffer beam stick. I've got my not mid-Sodor team.
Oh, now that's just showing off.
You know, that's what someone said in the live stream, but I forgot the live stream was going and thought, oh, I should really see what people are saying.
I've got the chat here, so I'm just keeping monitoring out there.
Because I wasn't looking, I was like, oh, there are people saying things.
So yeah, we got about 20 people watching now. So hello, folks. Welcome to the live stream.
Why are you watching?
There are plenty of other things for you to see. Oh, now one of us has broken off now. Thanks, Dan.
Well, they're all off to produce the next season of Thomas and Friends. We're the ones that aren't in the know.
To be honest, I actually have very little memory as to what's going to happen the next series. I really do not know. So, if anyone's going to ask me, if anyone's going to ask me what happens in the next series, I won't answer the question because I don't even remember.
Unfortunately for Michael, Dan and I know every single secret. So we'll happily reveal them all live on air.
We are in the queue. George being Muck and George being Q.
Yeah. And we've got a new detective sitcom coming out soon, Muck and Q.
Muck and Q.
Which is going to really, really change the landscape of television, I think.
And of course, I've got my own comedy double act, B and Q. The irony being that I'm actually Muck.
Yeah. Unfortunate way the cookie crumbles.
On a new detective series in Holland called
What else have I got?
That's a Still Game joke if you don't know. Oh yeah, did you guys watch Still Game?
No. I know people who do it. It's been recommended to me. I'm just
the whole thing finished last night there, so it was very nice actually.
No, I've heard good things.
Yeah, it's a very good comedy show, really. But it's not finished now after 9 series.
Oh, a lot to catch up on then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Oh, by the way, just in case he's wondering what my response would be. Patrick Savage, if I die, I don't think I could actually send my Farquhar branch line over to you. I don't know. The postage cost would be quite big.
And of course, the postie's been paid off by the new head writer.
Which is actually God himself. Really shocking chain of events that caused that. But
get casting him.
Everyone else was busy. Yeah.
Yeah. But he came along, said he's interested in the job. I was drunk.
And then he bumped you off because he wanted the layout. It was.
I was just quoting there, but you remember Sir Tom Hutt's monologues?
Oh yes.
Yeah. It was like there was one stage where he was apologizing. He was saying I would just like to apologize to my wife. all none of them know that the other one exists. But it was just how it happened. One came along, sailing with lady hat. I was drunk. And you can see where it went from there. So, but I actually showed when I was at one of the workshops. I actually showed Davey Moore Sir Tophman's monologues, and he took one look at it. And he says to me, "I'm going to watch this later tonight. This looks really good." So
that's nice. That's wonderful.
I'll tell you this here: Davey Moore is a really funny person. Like, really, really funny. Like he can make you laugh just by just saying one sentence, really.
Yeah.
And of course, that one sentence is 90-minute Boko special.
Oh dear.
Oh, I've let it slip again.
Whoopsie.
Oh yeah.
You heard it here first.
Right, I don't know if you remember, Dan. Do you remember during the tugs of that day? Do you remember a whole group of people leaving the exhibit and going towards that signal box?
I do.
Yeah. Do you know why? Do you know why they were going to that signal box?
They went to take a group picture, didn't they?
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Somebody showed a group picture.
Sorry, I've realized. Sorry.
What?
Sorry, it was no, carry on.
Okay. Someone shared a group picture, but at this point, though, I was talking to Mel, Mel Street, and him and he wanted to talk to me about something in private. So I said, like, okay, we'll go over to the signal box here because that way, people will leave us alone. As we were walking out the door, we were halfway to the box and we heard somebody shouting group photo. I thought to myself, oh, people are just probably going to take photos out there. We go into the box here. Next thing we hear these like footsteps coming to the box. And next minute, all the people who wanted to go into the group photo piled into the signal box. And I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And then they saw me. They were like, "Oh my god, how's it going? And I was like, "Oh my god, I've been cornered."
Yeah.
Which I actually was. I was actually cornered in a single box of all places. And so, and they were like all very excited and all to see me there. And then I actually, the first thing I said was, I just called silent, called order for a second. I said, I just want to get in my system here. I am not bringing Boko back. Please stop asking me. Which it then I got like a standing ovation, which they were already standing. So,
and well, it's a good way to distract people from the return of Boko.
Yeah.
But go on.
Yeah, but they were all kind of great, pleased to see me out there, and they were all like saying, you're doing great work, mate. You're doing fantastic. And I was like, I'm just writing stories the way I just would like to have a go at writing that. See what I can do. But anyway.
All right.
Oh yeah, some people are even saying like, I make the fantasy sequence work in the new series. I was only guessing as to what way the format was going to be. I didn't know this was going to be. I didn't know what way they were going to turn out, so I just guessed what way they were going to look. So nobody told me.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I guess it's that sort of thing when it's the first run out. You're like, how's this going to work on what?
Yeah. You've only got like text to work off.
Yeah.
So
while we have an audience and while people might listen to me, right, I'm going to do a little thing about scale and gauge. Right, so here is little Scarloey. That's 009. Little 009 Scarloey. It's kitschy.
Aged 4.
Age 4 and 3/4. This fella is 016.5 Scarloey.
Teenage Scarloey.
He's growing into the role. He's not very happy. Then, right, he runs on the same track as Ginty. So they aren't friends. But Ginty thinks he is. And then you've got O-Gauge Ginty. He's a unit. The thing is, they are all different.
Go on, swap the two in the middle and make it right. There we go.
I look down on him because he's working class, but I look up at him because he's high upper class.
You see, just differences.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah. But what we have there is 4 lovely models.
Indeed.
Oh dear.
Oh my god.
His original arriving at Sodor.
Arriving just fallen off boat Scarlowe.
Yeah.
Fun fact, this model has fallen off tables about 6 times. And is still there.
People like Ginty in the chat.
Right. Here's a funny story I actually wanted to tell. Well, it's not a long story, so I'll just point it out here. When I was last in Wales, this was like 2017 summer, August, I think it was. Before I left, there was an eBay auction for some Telecom Railway coaches that I really wanted to get. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And I put a bid for them because I really wanted to model. I was saying about maybe making replicas of these models of Scarlowe and so forth, which I currently am at the minute. So that's still in work in progress right now. But so I wanted to get some navigation railway stock. And I forgot how much they bid for, but anyway, I was outbidded at the very last moment before I got home. And I was kind of disappointed because I really wanted to model these coaches, get that model of coaches not there. And then I found out who had outbidded me, and it turned out to be Dan.
Now, the thing is, I do not feel guilty about this at all for a number of reasons. Mainly, there actually were shocking models.
They were actually.
They were appalling. Like no one could have recovered them. No one.
Nobody.
But now I think Maren's got them now.
What?
So he's got them, and they run with his backman Scarlowe and Rheneas, which I think he's still got.
They're his curse now.
It's his curse now.
Oh. So I think so you pretty much saved me from a curse.
I did actually. I feel I did a public.
I don't feel quite ticked off now.
They were appalling, like actually horrific. And George can verify that because he's got the same hits. Jinty's face.
Oh my god!
That's fine.
Regular service resuming shortly, friends. Yes, no, I can concur.
That's healthier.
Well, they're very old models. I think they're Mike's models, coaches. The original ones that the Rev would have used, but they are quite tricky kits, and they haven't aged particularly well, but they are 40 to 50 years old.
Justifiably awful, but less.
There's a charm to them if they stay together. So basically, they don't usually have charm. Occasionally, they might. That said, Narrow Planet, again, going back to them again, having taken on some of the Meridian molds, I think have started putting out Teleclin Coaches 3, 4, and 5 now. Okay. And they're wonderful kits.
Yeah, no, they're great.
Yeah.
Bluebell's 5529 says, how do you guys view the island of Sodor? As in, what do you guys view the proper NWR as the Reverend views, or do you guys try to add your own flavour to what the NWR should be?
Could I just leap in and say that the TV series is, when you think about it, really its own flavour of the Railway series at this point. I think it's a little unfair to consider it the same entity as the Railway series in many regards. So I think it's important for everyone to try and bring their own perspective to Sodor, if creating.
I think it is intrinsically your own perspective, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No matter how much you Michael, you do go back to what the Rev originally was doing, very authentically.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are always bits of you that will work their way in.
Yeah, it's like there were there's some parts of it there, some of it is I like to add in bits of my own humor, the one joke I'm still glad they kept in was the an engineer comes the little girl saying, "Look, Daddy, Edward is going to be taking our train." James looks up and he's like, going, "Oh, my God, Edward." I'm still thrilled they kept that joke in there because that's actually but that joke's actually a bit of a railway series reference, actually, toying on the fact of sorry. That joke is actually meant to be is actually referencing the tank engine Thomas again Henry illustration error. So, because people kept mistaking Henry for Gordon.
Yeah.
So, if anybody here in the chat, by the way, is part of the Thomas Wikipedia, you might want to put that into the little trivia thing, because I actually keep track of my page, and I'm still shocked I actually have my own Wikipedia page. That's still a bit of a. I'm still shocked by that. Some people actually sometimes come to me saying, like, is there any changes you want done to your page? I'm like, I don't know. Is there any changes I need done? Look at
it. But actually, really, when you go back to the inception of the Railway series itself, that is the Reverend pulling on his childhood experiences.
Yeah.
In box and creating a communication between the engines outside. So I think Dan's very right in that you really have to pull on what the Railway series and railways mean to you.
Yeah.
Because the Thomas tapestry is so rich. Anyway, there's so much to play around with.
Yeah.
But I do think there is something to be. I think it's just because this is what I end up doing. Because I very much try and reverse engineer what I think the Rev would have done. And so you end up with that thing of realizing that what he basically wrote were jokes. All of the stories are just jokes. Like 5-minute jokes, but not very long jokes. They're very short jokes.
Yeah.
And they always build up to a very solid punchline and point.
Now, with that in mind, actually, there was one idea when I first saw the episode The Water Wheel. I was watching it there, and I was kind of I was thinking there was one part of the video which I thought to myself, they actually missed a good opportunity to use a really good joke there. And it's the scene when Thomas is chasing the water wheel, and it goes up that snowy mountain in China. The water wheel stops at the top of the hill. You see Thomas racing up the hill. And when Thomas gets there, the water wheel slides back down the hill and rolls away. And Thomas screams, "No!" and he chases back after it. This is where I think it was that bit there. I thought to myself, they could have redone that in a certain way. And I think I mentioned this to David one stage, to which point he then said, "Oh God, yeah, that's true. Why didn't I think of that?" And it was instead of Thomas saying no, Thomas would just look at the wheel and just go, "Oh, for goodness sake," and just or just go like, "Oh, come on," and he just races back downhill, because he would get ticked off after climbing all that way.
Yeah.
So you need to have a bit of a.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, yeah.
Still,
I think it's
my view on it.
No, I agree. I think it's like the humor for me. And it's weird that we've sort of gone in, instinctively. I think I've gone from thinking about what the actual railway is to the stories.
Yeah.
I know enough about railways, but I'm not compared to a lot of people. Whereas I really like looking at how the story bit worked. I have rules for myself. I don't want NWs on things. Which I suspect is a view that George shares as well.
I do, but unfortunately I didn't when I made my username.
Yeah.
Thing is, if I could, we talked about time travel earlier. If I could go back and change my username, I would. But I'm quite wary about the idea of changing a username so late in the game. But yeah, sorry, no, go back to your rules, Dan. What other rules do you have?
What other rules? Oh,
yeah. Is there anything in a Thomas story where you would feel you'd be overstepping the mark, perhaps? Or a way to tell the story that you think might
I think it depends.
Be unfaithful, yeah.
Like,
yeah, because
you're doing different things for different audiences, aren't you? Like,
yeah, because you're pretty much writing for two audiences, really. So like you have to think of like including stuff that both works for both audiences, really. So yeah, so I would include like a bit of like classic reference Thomas in there for the older fans, but then you need to have like some new material as well for the young fans to enjoy as well. Recently, my nephew has now started to enjoy Thomas. He's now watching Thomas, and he's only one. He was one in November there, and I know, and he's now starting to watch Thomas now, and he loves it a bits now.
That's nice.
So much to the annoyance of my niece. Why Jesus Thomas? She doesn't mind Thomas really. I mean, she supported me like when I got the job and out there, but I think she prefers Pablo than Thomas.
I think that's fair. Pablo's fun.
Yeah, it's a good show to work on. It is Pablo. Because I mean, you might not notice it, but the stories that are now broadcasted now, which that I wrote, the fact Pablo was just want to point out here, Pablo was was the first ever television program I worked on back in 2016, and it was also the first time I actually wrote a script for television, and also worked with Andrew Brenner for the first time as well. So. But the stories I write, the first two stories I wrote for Pablo, which is the Book Spider and The Lift. First of all, The Lift was the first one, but both of them are actually based off of events that happened to me when I was young. So what you're actually seeing here is actually snippets of my life, of things that happened to me in the past, and what my reaction is. And yeah, it's just sometimes Pablo can be a bit of a strike home to me at sometimes. I mean, I think it's just because sometimes because I have autism, but just a mild case of it really. There's sometimes when I watch documentaries, like there's one called After Thomas. You've seen that one?
I haven't seen it, but I think I've heard of it.
YouTube, actually, if you look up a documentary called After Thomas, it's about parents who are trying to know more about their son who has autism, and they're having a lot of difficulty trying to get through to him or trying to talk to him, but because of the autism that he has, it's quite difficult. Some of the aspects in that there are kind of relatable to me in a way. And when I first saw it for the first time in 2008, I remember crying at there because it actually reflects so much of my life. And I thought to myself, my God, this is what I used to be.
Yeah.
This is what I used to be like. I was like, wow. But it's a very good documentary film. I would strongly recommend watching it. Really.
Okay, I'll check it out.
And as the title gives a bit of a clue, Thomas the Tank Agent does make a cameo appearance in it. Because apparently Thomas is actually a mascot for autism.
Yeah, no, he's the I think it's the Autistic Society. I think.
Yeah.
He's that's the Thomas charity, I believe.
Yeah. By the way, in case anybody's wondering, this band I'm actually watching here, I'm actually wearing here. This is actually I've been wearing this now for showing my support for autism. You see that there?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
So I've been wearing it all year, for the last year or so, just to show my support. And I'm going to continue wearing this here just to show my support to the autistic community.
Oh, that's fab. That's brilliant.
So, but yeah, Pablo is just more or less. It's just a program that just tells viewers that not all people who have autism have the same thing. Is that they see things differently, and the fact that also the cast for Pablo is also comprising of autistic people as well. Some of them are actually really good voice actors. Actually,
yeah.
One of them is actually going to be playing in Brass Legends.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, they were thrilled. They were thrilled when I asked them if they would be interested, and they said yes, I would love to.
Oh, nice. So when working on these shows, I suppose from what you said, the way I've interpreted it is it's quite important to make sure it's a fairly reflexive experience for both you and for the children watching.
Yeah, so maybe it could be say for example, really. Let me see now. I'm just trying to see what way I can use it here. Now, say for example, the episode "The Lift." That was based on an event that happened to me years ago when I was just a wee kid, and I got chopped in a lift in a department store, and I was really scared because the lift used to fantasize, used to amaze me in some stages because I just like things that operate and move out there, and I thought the lift was quite good. But the problem was that when I actually went into this lift there, and I wanted to try and have a go myself because I wanted to have a ride in a lift. That's pretty much what I wanted to do, really. Just ride a lift on my own, just so I can just feel the experience of having done that. And I just when the lift door closed on me, I actually found out I couldn't reach the buttons, and then I found out, oh God, I'm trapped. I can't get out. And I was terrified because I thought I was going to be trapped in there forever. So that's why I kind of put in with Pablo in a way. So like he doesn't like the lift because it takes people to places they don't want to go to or disappear. And it's I still find Tang's lines in that there funny. Because I just wrote a whole series of like different jokes that Tang could actually say. And I think him trying to make the doors open was just my favorite one. He thinks you have to use a magic word.
Yeah.
He was thinking about Alibaba and his 40 thieves. He was saying, like, shouting "Open Sesame." That didn't work. Open banana. Open Tang. Oh wait, that's my name. Anyway. And I actually do remember when we were writing this episode. Me and Andrew were in a call and we were saying, like, what would Tang say that actually would make the doors open in the end? Would he say abracadabra in the end, or would he say the same thing again? I says, well, what if he says this instead of saying abracadabra? What if he says, I know what the magic word is here. This works for every single thing. If you say it, it works. He goes like, open, please, and the door's open.
Yeah.
Because that used to be a thing. Like everybody remembers this. Like, whenever you want something, your parents always say to you, "What's the magic word?"
Yeah, no, it's a proper paid up gag.
Yeah, it's a proper paid up gag, and it works. It's so much. So I said that to Andrew, and he was like, "That works. That's brilliant."
And that's what made it in.
That's what made it in. Yeah, but there were some other things that sadly wasn't put in. I think some of the humor I got from that came from listening to like episodes of Danger Mouse or something like that. Because that's where my humor sometimes comes from. It comes from the old Cosgrove Hall shows. And there was going to be a scene where Noahsaurus tries to ask one of the appliances in the store to help them. And he sees an old saucepan hanging up on a hook, and he goes over, he picks up a wooden spoon, and he taps it. To which the saucepan actually reacts very differently. He says, like, "Here, give over." And he says, "That's charming, isn't it? Here, you hang up here for a while, catching a bit of disease, and you end up getting your head smashed in." And so Noah's saying, like, "Oh, I'm sorry, but do you think you can help us?" "You think I'm going to help you after whacking me here? Oh, no chance, mate." Then you have the wooden spoon reply saying, like, "You think you had problems? I was the one who got hit the most."
Right.
But sadly, that didn't get into the script.
In terms of broad detailing, I think, well, Rusty is no longer grey.
Great.
So I think now it's time to move on to some detailing.
Awesome.
Whereas my wagon is actually just grey.
And my watermill is just well, I don't know why I started cutting out the windows for one wall really when I should be actually finished making up the other wall, but I've got these all now marked out here, so I need to find ways of cutting out all the windows. So it's going to be very time consuming. Unless I find a speedier process, but this is where I'm going so far. Right, I'm just looking at the time here now. So how long have we been streaming now for?
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half. Right. Okay. We'll continue on streaming for another half hour, and then we'll call it quits. All right.
Yeah.
The race is on.
The race is on. No, that's actually giving me an idea now, because maybe for next time, if there's a next time, maybe we might do another Model's Corner. How about we actually we put ourselves to a test? See, we start off with a kit, and then we see how long it takes for each of us to finish the kit before the stream runs out. And whoever gets the closest to completing their model wins.
Do we get to win an Easter egg?
I don't know, actually. Maybe we could.
I like your priorities in life, George. Is there food?
Can
I have it?
Can I have food? Yeah. Yeah. I think. Well, sorry, Michael. I'm just musing over ways to detail this loco, because I do find it a bit of a conundrum when you've got an engine with a fairly simple color scheme.
Do you know what I did on my Rusty, George?
Hmm?
I basically dropped weathering powders on it.
Yeah. Oh no. I think I'll give that a go. I've been thinking about maybe some lining, but I don't know if that would be a terrible idea. Blue lining, it could. No. Okay. All right.
No.
You're overcomplicating it. Yeah.
I've never done that before.
You do that all of the times behind.
Right, here's something I would like to talk about. Whilst I have you guys here, I want to ask you guys about your previous videos, how you went about making them. Like, so for example, like Dan, you did your model railway videos, like the Christmas ones there, and Runs Dry, which I think is one of my personal favorites out of yours, really, because I just love this. I just love the way you filmed it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the ones with your Enterprising Engines based story.
Ah, yes, thank you. Yeah, that's 1967.
I mean, it's like, so when you went about actually making the videos out there, was there any like challenges that you had to face? Like, what was the most difficult challenge that you found the most stressful? Barring the ones of actually making things, just like, is there any like particular scene that you thought to yourself, oh, this is too much for me to handle?
Well, I would say it was a somewhat a challenge making the Enterprising Engines based story, which was all about the Fat Controller, but most of the filming was done without him. Dan actually was kind enough to send me a Fat Controller model.
I remember
halfway into filming.
Yeah, knocked my light.
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
So once that was sent over, I went through the task of masking him into lots and lots of scenes, which was difficult, but actually probably one of the things I'm proudest of, because no one seems to have picked up on it yet.
No, that is very satisfying.
Yeah.
I
never noticed that. That's very clever editing. I didn't notice.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, I do find sometimes the most frustrating things to do end up being the things you're proudest of. I mean, that's natural, isn't it? But often the things that will make you think about just giving up once they're done. You go, oh, look at this thing. Yeah. What about you, Dan? Are there any particular challenges that have
choose a video, any video?
Okay. Let's see. We'll pick. You and me, George, will pick one video that Dan's made, and we'll
because
that might be cheating. That I was going to go for Dan's last one, the Christmas special, which was 2 stories.
Christ.
That had musical elements, Dan. Perhaps
all of it. Can I say all of it?
Yeah.
Well,
right now.
It's then I'm like, which half?
Rory Scherzo. I think that's an interesting story.
Yeah.
Okay, so the most difficult part of that was probably the video bit. Because in spite of the fact that I've never written a song before,
Never mind, so.
It's fairly straightforward. You get the right bits, you make them rhyme. I was tweaking it a lot. I tweaked it so much to get everything right, but that was fairly straightforward. I sent it to Jake, did the difficult bit of music, so I have no complaints there because he handled all of that.
You know, it's maybe we couldn't get Jake on the stream. He would have been a great laugh.
Yeah. But yeah, the most tricky thing was actually the video.
Right.
Because I have a little rule with my Christmas stuff, which is that I try and film it and edit it in a week, because that's how much time I usually have. And this year, of course, it was 2 videos. There were 2 videos that I had to do because there was the Rusty one as well. And I finished filming the Rusty one on the 23rd and sent that to Jake. And I started filming the Rory one on the 24th. And I finished filming it on the 25th. And by that I really mean I spent most of Christmas Day not doing anything, and then in the evening, in that sort of nice dazed state that you're in,
right,
it is my favorite effect ever because no one noticed it. Is when the bit where Rory's flying through the sky, you'll notice a bit of string underneath. He's not held on upside down. He's actually held on 2 paintbrushes, which are duct taped to some VHSs piled up.
right.
So he is just gently floating there. You just can't see the paintbrushes he's on. And that filmed that very quickly, and that took like 20 seconds to do.
Jeez.
But making that was just something totally bizarre. The Aurora Borealis bit, that was stupid. I thought that it wouldn't be funny. Frankly, I was really worried about the whole thing. Like, it's not going. People aren't going to work it. No one's going to like it. And the moment you see an ice cream van flying through the northern lights with Santa Christmas in his cab,
good Lord, what is happening in there?
All of a sudden, it came together. Suddenly, my concerns about it not being funny went away. But that was an experience.
But one hell of an effect, really.
Yeah, because I don't know how to do technical things. I don't think anyone's noticed it. I pretend to. I give the impression, but most of my effects are either invisible into that you shouldn't notice them, or non-existent in that I will have someone talk around it.
There's some effects I remember doing last year, because last year I spent most of my time researching practical effects and trying them out for myself to see if they would work. And I shared a few of these effects online and in group chats now. You guys have seen some of these effects, which I haven't shared other places there, just to test and see how they look. And I was just surprised to see how well they turned out. Like, I mean, for example, like where this watermelon is going to go in here, there's actually going to be real water. So I was doing tests and all to see how that works. Because, funny, when I actually did the test, it actually started off like, it was all pretty okay in that there. But literally after I finished filming, the whole workshop was flooded.
Oh, so there was too much water, is what you're saying? Right?
Well, no. The problem was that a leak had sprung quite suddenly, and it only just happened literally after I finished filming it.
Oh.
So I thought to myself, my God, that's pretty well timed. At least I got what I wanted, and that's yeah. But one thing I actually loved I think it was you helped me out with this, Dan, was the sky backdrop.
Oh yeah, the huge sky.
Yeah, I asked Dan some time ago. I says, what sky did you use here? And he sent me a link for it there, and he says that it's like 10 feet by 10 feet long, isn't it?
Yeah, and like no one appreciates how big that is until you see it.
Yeah. So I actually put it up yesterday to see how it looks because I bought some extenders for my green screen backdrop, and I looked it up and I thought, well, at least I got a. At least I've got there's enough room here now to like for width wise to hang the thing up here. But now the problem is now is that the sky backdrop is not 10 feet tall. This is the problem now. So like 1/4 of the backdrop was still trailing on the floor.
Yeah.
But it was when I put up my proper green screen on this here to see how it looked. I actually found out that my extension was still too short. So yeah, but yeah, I'm very grateful for the sky effect there. And thanks for the recommendation for it there.
Oh no, it was fine.
One thing I will have to ask though is there a way I'm able to mask out the join of the two vinyl sheets that are joined together?
I keep it out of focus.
I put it out of focus, sorry.
And I floodlight it. Frankly. So I've got 3 soft boxes, and one of them just does the sky.
Right.
And I find that you can see some creases in the vinyl, but you don't really notice the join.
Yeah, I probably might steam mine actually.
Yeah.
Hide the joints.
Because it's a funny old thing.
Yeah. It's still good though.
Oh no, absolutely. And the fact that it's so big means you have so much more freedom.
Of course.
You're not just looking down all the time going, where's the thing? You can have big shots, which is very nice.
Oh, hello?
Hello. So who hasn't answered the question? Is it just Mike? Because Michael, have you answered the question?
Sorry?
What was the question? George asked the question.
Just a particular difficulty in
in
making videos. I was actually thinking perhaps turning it on the people watching as well. Just to ask if anyone's got anything that they find particularly difficult.
Any questions that you want to ask us about any of our previous videos before? How we did certain things.
Or with their own videos, I presume most people watching probably also create, and it'd be interesting to know.
What was like the most challenges you've ever had, like when making your videos? Write in because we would love to hear from you. I still find it funny because I think James May is the only person in the world who still says when he's on television, write in if you want to complain or to send helpful advice.
Well, I think given James May's audience, they probably would write in as opposed to anything else. I've seen RM Web.
Actually, I did talk to James May briefly one time.
Really?
Yeah, on Twitter.
Was he as nice as he seems?
Well, his answer was pretty brief, really. Basically, it was a question I asked him on his program, the Reassembler, and it was. Do you remember the Christmas one he did, where he rebuilt his train set?
I've never seen the Reassembler.
Oh, it's pretty good if you're into that, if you're into reassembling stuff. But like basically, what it is it's the object of the program is James May will go about spending about half an hour or 45 minutes if you buy the DVD, making up a. Let me see now. If I go for the list now, series 1, it went through like 2 series. So series 1, he built a 1950s petrol lawnmower. He rebuilt it one, and he built a Bakelite telephone, a Japanese replica of an electric guitar. And in series 2, he rebuilt his Triang Hornby Flying Scotsman train set. Then after that, it was a Kenwood Chef food mixer.
Wow.
What was after that then? After that was a think it was a monkey bike, a Japanese Honda monkey bike. And finally, he rebuilt a record player.
It's a pretty eclectic mix, really.
Yeah, and he would go on to he would then go on to like talking about things like, as James May would. So like he would say, like, should we talk about screws for a bit and talk about their great purpose? Or the most common one in series 2 was, what's the difference between a screw and a bolt? And he would literally go take that time to actually answer this question and saying, like, would you define this as a screw or a bolt?
Yeah. It's quite a big question, I suppose.
Yeah.
Not one that most people would know the answer to, certainly.
Yeah. And there was also, the one I also loved here is that he talked about this story when he was rebuilding his Flying Skull spawn. He told this very funny story about a friend of his. He didn't use his real name because he was watching, but he for TV sake, he calls him Bill. So James's friend Bill desperately wanted a train set when he was young, because the train set was always known as to be the greatest present you would get on your birthday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Before the invention of the Xbox or the games console, or Pokemon Go for that matter. And I haven't got Pokemon Go. I'm still in the Stone Age of playing games. I'm still making my toys.
It's the best way.
Yeah. So anyway, this guy Bill wanted his own train set there, and on his 2 weeks before his birthday, he saw his birthday present wrapped up. It was in a train set shaped box. It could be a triangle, it could be a Hornby, 00, don't know. And he spent 2 weeks with sleepless nights, excited for this train set that he really wanted for so long. And when he came downstairs for breakfast that morning, his parents being old-fashioned, saying, "Look, you can't have your open your present yet. Hey, you must have your breakfast." So he had a boiled egg and a piece of toast there while he slowly wetted himself there with excitement there until his parents says, "Okay, you can open your present now." And he tore the wrapping paper off from the parcel to reveal a picture frame kit. But the real tragedy of it was that this fella was left-handed, so he couldn't use it anyway because it was designed for right-handed people.
Actually gutting.
So to make amends, his parents. Now this is in the DVD now. To make amends, his parents bought him a pair of ducks for his birthday as pets. So, yeah, as you would. As you would for a child, every child would like a duck, wouldn't they?
Where's mine?
Did you not have one? Oh, shame.
All right, no need to rub it in.
Oh. But anyway, he said that he kept them for like few for like pets and that there, and come the time where he kept them in a greenhouse for a bit there, and then come the time where he had to let them out, and of course they flew away. So James says to him, like, he still rings him up on his birthday there. On his birthday, just saying, like, are you gloomy? And he says, "Oh yes." And he always knows he's got some terrible gift of some sort.
Yeah.
So that's the case of him. So just give me a wee second. I'll just be a wee second.
George, I think we can take the live stream over again.
Oh,
they won't know
so many plans. Like
plans and
on the screen.
Well, which is what I've been doing.
Yeah. I'm trying to give Rusty a bit of gold, but it's a bit of a touch and go process.
I don't think you can do much with him, George. It's
no, but
tick.
Well, actually, Dan, he does have gold-rimmed holes and windows, as some people call them, in the illustrations. So
why?
I don't know.
And is it gold or is it copper?
Well,
it's not gold.
For my purposes and my convenience, it's more a gold. Maybe the Scarlet Railway became particularly affluent and decided to go all out.
It decided the best thing to put its windows in is a soft metal.
Yeah. Well, when you're that rich, you can sort of play around, take a few risks, can't you?
It took a long time for them to rebuild Rheneas, didn't it? He was away for at least a decade.
I did reading about this last year, and it was a very, very long time. Whereas Scar Louie was back pretty quickly.
Yeah, you know. Bish bosh bash.
Just
or bish bash
favourites,
bosh.
isn't it? Yeah.
Oh yeah, nobody liked him.
Yeah.
Scar Louie at the workshop, so
No, they wanted.
He wasn't really fixed.
No.
I'm still on his side, still leaning tragically.
Yeah.
He still leans now.
Well, it's very unfortunate. Originally, he was an 020.
Yeah,
which was partially the reason he didn't run very well, or at all.
Sort of the bicycle engine.
Yeah, yeah. So they gave him an extra set of wheels when he went to the works, but he was still a flawed thing. Because they took the others off when they did. Trying to think of a pun between unicycle and engine. It's not going very well.
No, I was thinking you were buying time for something, but you don't quite have the brain power to manage it.
Yeah, sort of cycling back and forth with it. Got you there. Got you good and proper.
I wish I hadn't.
You'll never recover. Yeah. I don't know, Dan. I kind of like a little thing there.
Just a purist, George.
Well, I think if anything, I'm being loyal to Spong. I think.
As I say, I'm a purist.
Yeah. I think that the radiator grill.
When have you ever done that?
Yeah. Times change, needs must. I think the radiator grill's going back to black though, because that was a mistake. That didn't happen. There we are.
I haven't been looking. And what is it now?
Oh, have a peek. Oh no, you can't. That's why.
What?
Well, I think my camera's off. Is it?
Oh yeah, it is.
Oh no.
Oh, it looks black as far as. Oh, the cap.
Oh no! It was gold, but I've just painted over it.
Oh,
so you were spared of that.
It's all right. Fortunately, this is being recorded.
Yeah,
so I can come and review it at my leisure.
I do find it difficult if you don't have proper spectacle plate rims.
Yeah,
trying to represent it with paint because you want to get it looking relatively fine, but it's a bit of a touch and go process, and going back with the black paint and all that. Oh, what a debacle!
My apologies, gents. Did I keep you long?
Well, 6 years actually. Dan's got a beard. It's quite impressive.
Have I really been on that long? My God.
Yeah.
Who's the president now?
Oh, still Trump.
Oh.
But Trump Jr. Jr.
I was close to cussing there. I was so close to cussing.
A physical conglomerate of about 6 Trumps. It's quite impressive. Don't know how he does it.
Oh God.
There you go, viewers. What you all wanted to see.
Let's see.
Cool. Oh, I do like the black paint. Very fetching.
I would put it with the engine, but I put the engine back in its box.
Oh, Ginty Brick Railway asks, is there any stories that you lot wanted to do, but you can't because you don't have the engine?
No.
Yeah, I can actually reveal one story. Is that back in the days when me and Casey Jr. were making videos on model railways. Do you remember those days?
God, so long ago.
You need a time capsule to look back at that. But it was like back in 2008 was the last time you made a video. No, I tell a lie. It was during. We still work together. Really, we still work on miniature railway adventures together, but we haven't really done like a proper video together. I mean, Casey's helped me out a few times in various videos. In fact, bit of trivia: in the 10-year anniversary, he's the one who's actually chucking the biscuits at me. And when I asked him if he would be interested, like before a few days, was it a few days or a few days beforehand, I just sent him a message that says, "Look, would you help me out with this video here?" He just says, "What do you want me to do?" And in a very blunt voice, and I says, "I need you to throw. You don't have to, okay? You don't have to, but I need you to throw biscuits at my face, really, really hard." Yeah. Now, that's what his reply. He's around like, "Yes." And I just says, "Now again, now just say you don't have to if you don't want to. I want to do it." Okay. What time do you want to come down? When do you want me? Oh, I don't know. Tomorrow, I'll be there. Make sure the biscuits are ready. We went through an entire package. And I actually will point out, I literally did get hurt in that video.
Those poor biscuits.
Yeah, very few survived.
Yeah.
Crumbs now. Oh, crumbs.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever been stopped making a video because of an engine. What has happened before is I've wanted to make a story about an engine, and then I found I couldn't get it initially, and by the time I do find it, the interest for that story is gone a little.
Oh, I know.
Would you say you're a recycler?
What, in terms of stories or models?
Oh, well, both, but mainly stories in this case. Because I frequently end up recycling bits.
Yeah, I recycle bits, not so much stories. I mean, I did a story last year. No. Oh, God. 2 years ago, about Toby as a bird spotter, and that had existed for about 5 years previously.
No, I remember rewriting that story.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Because he was Percy originally, and I did a find and replace.
Yeah, but it was a worthy find and replace. I prefer it as Toby.
I'm still gutted that I didn't get the ending that I'd written originally.
Yeah, Dan wanted a webcam.
I wanted a webcam at Farquhar, and
yeah,
the bird would just appear in the webcam at the end for the last shot. And George went, no, that's too silly.
It's too modern.
It promptly happened about two days later at the Talaclave.
Yeah, exactly.
But you had like a screen. You were very taken with the screenshot of it.
Oh, it's a very funny screenshot. Yeah.
Oh, it really.
Someone asks, "How is Rusty coming along?" Well, Rusty is here. That's Rusty. He's not done yet.
Oh, Dickens Rusty.
But he's looking okay. I think I'm as happy as I would be. I think he needs some weathering. Quite a lot of weathering. And I would do a name, but I'm always a bit lazy with that. So
yeah, when I saw Dan's one, his 7mm one, I was actually quite surprised. I thought to myself, how did he manage to get the lettering so well painted?
Oh, it's lovely. Yeah, an O-Gauge is built for
that. Best sort of painting.
No, but very how do you get the transfers all put on so beautifully?
Oh,
but then he revealed it was an O-Gauge model. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Oh no, that also helps. Like being like double the size you expect it to be makes it so much easier. No, well, I hate doing transfers. It shows on my Scarlowy because he's only got his name on one side.
Yeah.
And that's the side that the passengers see him from.
This is a bit of a trivia I sometimes do here. See, when I'm ever working or when I'm ever away, actually, I sometimes find, like, as you would do when you're making models like that, you turn on the radio or listen to a bit of music out there. I do this here. I just do it because I just love the story process. I actually download Dan's videos as MP3s and listen to them whilst I'm working.
Do they work as MP3? Not as in technically.
Oh, it depends. It depends exactly which ones I'm after. Like, so I think I've got Percy's postal one.
Oh no, that'll work on audio because that's Jake screaming.
Yeah. Then I think Conspiracy, I think is another one.
I can see that working on audio. Yeah.
Yeah, Conspiracies. James's Traffic Jam. Well, you narrated that one.
I did. That was one of Callum's stories.
Yeah, one of Callum's.
I was very glad to see that back up again.
Yeah, because there were some of his ones I actually really liked.
Yeah,
I had to see them go really.
It's very weird to think that I have as much nostalgia for them as I do for like some of the Thomas stuff.
Yeah,
like the proper model show and like because.
Yeah.
They were like bits of my fandom. It's like how I don't really remember season 8 at all, but I do remember the season 8 and 9 redubs that they did from Sith.
Oh, I remember those. Yeah, I think I still have them backed up somewhere.
Hmm.
Because they're busy now. They've relaunched the new site now, haven't they?
Yeah.
So I'd say it's still a work in progress there before we see the Sodor productions again.
Yeah.
But what was your favorite? What was your favorite ones out of their productions? Like who did you find did the best ones? Like redubs or original content from mashed together adventures?
I was always very fond of. I quite like all of them, but I liked Chris's stuff quite a bit.
Yeah, I agree. Chris did very good because I loved his editing. His editing is really good.
I was very fond. I think it was Chris Burrell.
Oh, Chris Burrell. Oh,
He
yeah.
did, like Gordon the Big Engine.
Yeah.
With the old. It's quite. I'll be honest. It's less so because of the production. It's more of that if the old bean is in it, I'm sort of sold on it no matter what it is. And I think he was Gordon, so I was totally sold on that.
Yeah.
In the same way that Alaric's stuff, totally sold on that because it's old. It's Beanie as the fat controller and doing monologues at the end.
Oh yeah.
You know what, Wiggles? I have the perfect solution to this, and then it breaking into lyrics. We'll try the Les Miserables.
Oh, I remember watching that bit there. You just see the captions come out saying, went to the shirts, made a statement. You just gave them their response, and it went something like this.
And then it goes.
No one go and help some people fight. You're on your own. You have no friends. Give up your guns or die. Gordon retaliates by singing, damn their warnings, damn their lies, they shall see the people rise.
I don't remember this.
That's how Trouble in the Shed really happened, George.
It just went for like a rabbit.
It was a classic.
I was actually very tempted at one stage there to actually bring Wiggles into the actual Thomas series, just for a little cameo. But I don't know if it will work or not. I don't know.
Oh, thank you to the people in the chat saying about Rusty. That's very nice. I've been very impressed with Michael and Dan's modelling tonight.
Yeah. All right, just so you know, guys, we're going to extend this here stream just for a little bit longer here. So
yeah,
because I just while I was away there, my dad came in there, so I was just saying like what's happening there. So yeah, we can extend it a wee bit further until we get to the stage where we're just bored stiff of these of modeling. I've mentioned earlier.
This has actually reignited I've been very much enjoying it tonight.
Yeah, because I mean, this is something I really want to do. There because I mean, it's very rarely that I actually get a chance to talk to people like you chaps here. Because I mean, there's only like a few selected few who I would talk to, but it's more the question as to whether if you guys are interested or not. That's the thing. That's the case really.
For me, it's more a case of to end up because I'm working a lot of days, so it ends up.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Timing.
Are you guys available to do this, or
But it's been an absolute pleasure. Really enjoyed it.
I've enjoyed finally because I've had this wagon for months.
Yeah.
It is just a case of sitting down to build it and going, oh, that was quite painless.
So if I was to bring Modeler's Corner back, would you guys be still interested in taking part again?
Oh yes, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
You can find a time that works, definitely.
Oh, why? Now, Knuckles was originally going to be part of this as well, but unfortunately he wasn't available tonight.
No, he's got a Boko model to send off, hasn't he?
No, in fact, he's away playing darts. So,
sorry, I ruined the joke. It was a Daisy model. Damn it.
But yeah, he's away off playing darts there. So I said, don't worry, there's always next time. So
yes. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It is difficult finding a good time, but it's been absolutely lovely.
Yeah.
And it's been so nice to have such an active chat as well. Thank you very much, everyone. Because
yeah, thanks to you. I mean, I'll just put the camera for a sec here so you can see me. Okay, guys, thanks for all joining the chat there.
A victory drink, lovely.
So
how do you feel about your modelling this evening, Michael? How do you feel it's come on?
it's going okay now. I originally thought it was going to be like one heck of a. It wasn't going to go well, but I think it seems to be going okay.
Yeah.
It's actually quite therapeutic, actually.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I think modelling as a hobby is a great way to relieve stress. But it's funny, isn't it? Because modelling itself can be very stressful.
Yeah, it does two things to you, really. It makes you more stressed, or it just makes you just relaxed, really.
Yeah, but it can divert your stress from other things.
Yeah.
Real world things. I think that's lovely. I think it's something a lot of modelers can share and bond over. Actually, is the as you say, the therapeutic nature of it.
Yeah.
Especially when something goes right, eh?
Oh, definitely when something goes right. I mean, that's the joyous.
Yeah.
That's where the joy is. Seeing something that you've worked on, you've slaved on for such a long time, and it works. It just works.
Oh, wonderful.
I don't think I have it with me, actually. I was going to see how to speed up the process here. Of cutting out these windows, where do I actually use my drill?
Right.
Not. Because I read somewhere using the drill actually helps speed up cutting out windows. If you drill holes at the corners.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's a good idea.
But,
speaking of which, I'm getting pretty happy with the lining around these windows. I think I'm about to move on to weathering.
Quoting from somebody asked earlier on here, did we ever watch The Train Killers by Our Poop?
Yes.
Yes.
Very funny.
I was going to say that. Such pretty windows.
Such pretty windows, yeah.
Pretty windows. Most exhilarating.
Brilliant video. Just brilliant.
Superbly edited. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think I talked to him at one stage.
Wow.
I can't remember. I think I did talk to him at one stage, but he's a really good chap.
If you guys have any more questions in the chat, I think Dan's gone away, but please hurl them at us. Or get us to hurl you questions. That could be interesting.
Yeah. What questions would you like us to ask?
Yeah.
that's gonna confuse them. So ask them a question for us to ask.
Yeah, it could be interesting, but frequently isn't. Hello.
Hello.
I have returned.
I think Rusty might go on Twitter later, dependent on whether I mess it up at the last minute.
You messing it up at the last minute?
Oi.
I never
I'll have you in court over that.
I just said it in a mildly incriminating way. I don't know what you're trying to infer.
Yeah, maybe I might actually just get the drill and drill these out here. Just help speed things up here. Let's see if I still have it somewhere.
Right, so I think that's him painted. I'm going to find lots of bits that need doing. But there. It's actually the sound of Dan's rage there.
Oh, got the drill. Good.
Well,
do you ever do this thing where when you have a drill in your hand, you always sound it to make it sounds like you're being a robot?
I don't have an electric drill, actually.
Did you know?
No,
I don't Dremel enough to need a drill.
I'm frightened.
Well, I don't use my Dremel enough.
Oh, shoot, hang on.
I've always had
pleasure.
Actually, always had a bit of a phobia of things like drills and chainsaws, which probably isn't the most outlandish thing to be worried about.
They are deadly weapons.
Yeah, but I don't enjoy it. I mean, they are noisy.
What?
To be fair, my hand drill's noisy if I do something wrong. Well, I'm noisy.
Give me a second. I just need to fix this here.
Right, there we go.
Nope.
I think we paint this old boy with weathering.
It's been quite nice to do this.
Yeah.
All of my other projects seem quite scary and big. I've got an O-gauge, not an O-gauge, an O16.5 Bagnall that I keep meaning to start properly. And by the time I've gotten all the bits out and looked at it, I get scared again and put it back.
Come on, camera work. There we go. So, all right. Shush, behave. Behave, you naughty Joe. Let's see. 4 or 5? Go for 5. Right. Prepare for some cussing. Swear boxes at the standby, folks.
Cool.
Controlled.
Right, it's muddying time.
So far, so good.
Anything moving at your end, George?
Not at present.
I was just double checking.
Just looking for one of those makeup pads to do the weathering with.
Ah, you use what you is it Tamiya things?
I use Tamiya weathering things.
No, I like the Tamiya weathering things.
Well, I think I was either recommended it by you or possibly someone else we know called Stuart.
It was probably Stuart. Because he recommended them to me.
Terrible chap, but...
And then, like, 20 seconds later went, I don't like them. I was like, oh, but I've just ordered 5.
No, I like him. Yeah. Let's give Rusty a bit of mud. Because I think an engine like Rusty would get muddy. Is my camera moved now, Dan?
Yeah.
Okay.
As you apply the tip.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, I was looking at this, and I was thinking that the makeup pad was wiping off the black paint. Yeah.
And was it?
No. No, I was just being foolish. Won't happen again.
I believe it when I see it.
Now, whereabouts would Rusty get muddy, do we think?
Everywhere.
Yeah, well, that doesn't help.
Nowhere.
Thank you. Better. I'm just going to use my thumb to smudge that. I do suppose, and I shouldn't be saying this because this is proper modeler talk, there's probably an art to weathering and you can definitely overdo it.
There is, and you can.
Thank you, proper modeler. He comes in sometimes and speaks to my worst impulses.
Do you remember back in the day, George, when you gifted me some coaches?
Yes, I do. I certainly do.
Have you ever seen them all in all of your ones and my ones in a line?
I didn't know you made them.
Well, you made them.
Oh.
Or they were made when you gave them to me.
I swear they were kits. Okay.
No, they were definitely. They definitely arrived made.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's have a look. Oh, we are having a look. Oh, wow. Oh, that's quite fetching. Yeah. So are you getting back into your 009, Dan? Because
no,
I thought you'd gone to the dark side of O-Gauge. Oh, okay.
Well, I'm getting a bit angsty because I saw the Quarry Hamlets
Yeah.
And this train was really made from a quarry Hunslet of some kind.
Hmm.
And by that I mean a cabless one, because they're the best.
Got some lovely models coming out this year.
Oh, not a quarry Hunslet.
Hmm.
Um,
People of the chat, is there any models on the way out that we're looking to get hold of?
that was an odd way of saying anything.
I'm trying to be down with the kids, you know. Actually, that's an odd way of saying it too. Because I found the Hornby Rustons look very fetching.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming out. But I know a lot of people are going in on the Terriers. Have been announced too. Well, they're on the way out. They've been out this week, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Hornby ones have been.
Yeah. Do you think you'll get one, Dan?
No.
No.
I'm not that drawn back.
Hmm. Right. Okay, so it is such a tiny model that it's quite difficult to apply any tactical weathering, so... Well, it's also difficult if you don't have any skill for it, and that's me, so...
Well, I think it depends on what you go. I rusted up the underframes mainly.
Hmm.
But it does, for me, I thought it would just go
The
everywhere.
underframes.
Like the frame bit at the bottom.
Hmm. Yeah. I think of all the Scarlowy locos, he can look the most well worked, so...
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. In fact, I think... Oh, hello. I'd have a go at making a curtain if I had time, but I don't think I do today.
Doing a what?
Making a curtain to hide the big motor.
Oh, I think you should just stick a man in there.
I can't. There's not space.
I mean, just in the doorway.
No, but look.
Yeah, in the door. Oh.
Oh.
Well, cut a man in half.
Okay.
But make sure it's a volunteer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to have like enforced cutting in halfery.
No more lawsuits.
Oh, more trouble than they're worth.
There he is. I think there we go. Probably looking about as done as he's going to be tonight. Oh, we can glue the roof on. I wish I had some funny faces to put on him. Oh, wait.
Oh, wait.
There he is. He has been born.
He has been born. He lives.
He lives. It's alive. Let's see if we can perch him.
Just put that back there.
I am rusty and this world will burn. Superb.
Very good job, George.
Thank you
I'm
very much.
Impressed.
Well,
Oh, right.
you shouldn't have been surprised. I am the head of Ertl. And I do commission the faces.
Proper model of extraordinaire.
Yeah.
Great. Right, let's saw the holes now drilled out, so I can now see if I go through the scalpel model, make sure I cut them all out. So, joy.
I feel like we chose much easier modelling projects for 2 hours than you did.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that. Maybe I actually should have stuck with actually doing the dapple kits, but oh well.
No, but I think it'll look good when it's finished.
Yeah,
you've made a lot of
that could be
progress
part of
on
an
that.
ongoing series, like for next time. Next time on the build, what should we see about getting the water wheel fitted or?
Yeah.
We still got that stage to get to, but we're still.
Next time, a live flooding of the set.
That's the dream.
Could have said something there, but I didn't.
Done.
And if you did, I would have kicked you off the stream.
Kicked you off the stream.
Not funny.
I try.
Oh,
stop.
Yeah.
Pretty bad when I finish cutting these here, but I'll tie them up later on here with the file. But then all windows turn out bad when they're really fitted.
I'm not.
When have you ever seen a window like that there? A window cross-eyed. That's a new one. Do you remember that image? It's online now. It shows you it shows a picture of a house, and the top windows are inserted in the roof in a way that makes it look as if the house is actually looking at you.
Not seen it.
I might put it in the chat maybe later on here. Remind me later on. I'll send it to you. But it's like, it's pretty creepy. There was actually a guy who I actually remember. He used to work as a clown, and he was that involved. He was so into his job that they actually decorated his house to look like a clown's house.
Gosh.
I know.
I would not like to go in there, to be honest with you.
Well, that's what I thought, but it turned out that it was actually the house was actually a play school.
Wow.
So here's a good question. I was thinking of earlier on to ask you guys. What was your first ever train set? Like model, like Hornby, Bachmann type one?
Do you want to go first, Dan?
Do I want to go first? What a question that is. It would have been the Hornby, Thomas, and Clarabelle set. And I'm fairly sure it was from the 80s. And it all spiraled from there. My next engine was Gordon, and he kept breaking. Just continually breaking. The middle nut on the middle wheel kept coming off. But that was the first set.
Right.
Thomas, major success. Loved a good Thomas. Gordon, major disappointment. Massive failure. Never been happy with Hornby since. What about you guys?
It was, for me, it was the, I don't know how specific this is. It was a Hornby set called Little Giant with the Little Giant engine in. It's one of those standard 040 pocket rockets.
Oh, yeah.
But for me, yeah, it was a very colourful set, and it was sort of the perfect introduction. And then I wanted what everyone else did, which was Flying Scotsman. So it was quite a while before I got Thomas stuff. I did get a Hornby Thomas at some point, I remember. And since then, it's been a bit of a daze. More engines have just appeared at my door.
All of them, Michael trying to deliver them.
Trying to exchange for finally getting his Daisy.
Oh, God. Right, I'm just looking at dancing now. That's terrifying. Hello, I'm the doctor. You're like a guinea baby. I want to love do it. You swine, these are licorice all sorts. If you guys don't know what I'm on about, you look up some classic Doctor Who and you know.
Someone in the chat says, my first set was the Smoky Joe set. And Smoky Joe's quite a classic engine, isn't it?
Oh,
for Hornby.
You were never a Hornby collector unless you had a Smoky Joe.
Well, I've never had one myself. What about you, Dan?
No.
No, I know.
No.
So my first electric one was actually a pocket rocket. It was actually a Caledonian Pug with Highland Railways written on it.
Very nice. Yeah. And again, what about everyone in the chat? Where did everyone's modelling begin? What did it begin with? Answers on a postcard.
Please send your postcards to the following address that will appear on the screen. We're sorry, but we won't be able to return your postcards. That used to annoy me on children's programs. Every time you see the birthdays out there, they always show the kids' birthday cards, and then they always say, "We're sorry, we won't be able to return those to you." And I was like, "Why?" The parents worked so hard on those cards, and the kids really want to have them as memories, but they can't. That kind of made me think to a question: what did the BBC do with all those birthday cards anyway?
Landfill.
No, apparently I actually found
Line
out.
of duty scripts.
I actually found out for a bit that they actually kept some of them.
Oh.
Yeah, actually, apparently they kept some of them. Well, I'll say some. They kept like about a container's worth.
Hmm.
And we didn't see them again until I don't know, probably until the CBBC's anniversary, I think.
And the others were sent to wherever your DMU has disappeared to. Yeah. I just hope that's
don't worry. I got a refund for that model anyway, so I bought a new one.
Oh,
Here it
I
is.
see.
There she is.
Yeah.
I got a new one. So Daisy's currently in the works right now. So Ryan, if you're listening, Daisy's being made right now, so don't worry. He's probably asleep by now, or maybe he's waking up to have his breakfast in America. Yeah, that seems to work a lot better. If you guys are wondering what I'm using here, this is a piercing saw. This is a tool. This is what stopped me from making the Toby build, because I really needed one of these here to cut the brass. The only problem is that the blades are actually quite fragile, so you have to be very careful.
Right. I think I'm going to have to call it quits.
Okay.
At this point.
Might be.
I'll just finish cutting out this bit here, and then I think I'll call it quits as well. Right.
So do we do one last presenting of what we've produced this night?
Let's produce what we've done so far in the over 2 hours we've been working at.
So Dan.
No. Give me time. Give me time.
Oh gosh.
I'm not ready. I don't want to go.
It's all over. Okay.
Right.
Go on, George. What have you been doing?
Well, Ben, I've been working on a rusty model.
Oh, what have you been doing to it?
Painting it.
Oh.
And it's going to.
Did you ask permission?
Anyway, so I've got it here, and I'm just trying to keep it all together. There we go.
Oh.
Like all great models, you can't let anyone else hold it because it will fall apart. Okay.
No, I can sympathise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's a little look at Rusty. I'm fairly happy with that. I've had worse.
Yeah. I'd be happy.
He's a happy fella.
Well, he's not really.
No, he's not really. He's actually.
He's got a bit of a blank face.
He's very angry.
Bit of a micro face.
But for the size of the model, I can't complain too much. That's going to sit there with its
friends,
its fellows. It can pull a brake van, can't it? There we are. Off into the golden sky it goes.
So that's George's model. This is as I said at the very start, I'm having a go at tackling the Wheels Craftsman watermill kit. It's pretty much a bit of a scratch build project, but it's this is where I've got to so far in the last 2 hours. Not much of a start, I'll grant you, but I pretty much had to go around, mark out all the windows and find ways to cut them all out there. So this is quite very big plastic and all to cut through. So
yeah, but the plastic on build kits is very brittle and tough, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's a bit of a tough one to get through. But yeah, that's where I am. So hopefully next time here I'll have all these like tidied up and move on to the next stage, whenever that will be. So I can just put these in the box and just save it for next time. So,
Fab.
So Dan, let's see what you've done.
All right, here it comes. Here it comes. There she goes.
There we go.
It's my truck. It's my truck.
A lovely little thing. Very finely detailed. I like
It is lovely.
It's the nice thing about Parkside is that you don't really have to do anything to them. They're just sort of there. So there he is, next to his picture. In case you weren't sure what it looks like, I have an illustration provided. And it runs, which I'm happy with, and the bogies work, which I'm happy with, though it can't do sharp corners.
I had to say that you finally made something that runs on bogies.
Yeah,
yeah,
it was very satisfying.
Yeah,
it can't do very sharp corners because these breaky bits. We need to come up with a name that goes with grab handles and lampy boys.
Yeah, if you don't know what that means there, basically it's like a joke there that me and Dan came up with, and some other friends did, where we called lamp irons lampy boys.
And I think that they're going to be called, the brake handle's going to be called a swizzle stick.
Swizzle stick, okay.
Yeah, because they swizzle the top. But apart from that, I'm very happy.
So, folks in the chat there, who do you think did the best one? Was it who done it best? Me, Dan, or George? Oh, now Mines closes at midnight.
It clicked. Has it gone off? No, it hasn't. It's fine.
Dan has won. Well done, Dan.
No, I think that's I had the easiest thing to do.
Well done, Dan.
Well done, Dan. You have a slice of
thank
cake.
you. Bow down, peons.
Or, as was threatened, an Easter egg.
Oh, you're giving me an Easter egg?
I am giving you an Easter egg. Yeah,
and
you just have to send £5 to an address I will disclose to you in private.
Can I get the postcard back?
No, but you do.
Well, as long as it doesn't get lost in the post, I'm sold.
Excellent.
This has been fun.
Yeah,
I think half-baked there is just put in there. The true winner here was friendship, and I will agree on that there, yeah. It was
absolutely.
Hang on. It's not that very funny. Sorry, train lover. Wait. Dan did 92. That's the wagon now? So I did a bit. So no, well, I mean, it is in a bit of a way. There's a bit of a triangle thing going on here, a bit of a stage going on here. So I'm doing a building. George loco. Dan's building a wagon. So.
Yeah. So it's such a.
So we're going to meet up, put them all together.
I think we're all winners.
We're all winners,
but especially me.
But especially you, the person watching. Now, just send your
donations and indeed tithes.
Until it gets claimed by copyright for some reason. I don't know. I'll not go into my rant, but yeah. Anyway. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think we'll call it for now. We'll return to Modeler's Corner next time, probably whenever we feel like it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, it'll come. It'll come in. We'll probably start again. Probably maybe I don't know. When would you? When would you like us to? When would you like us to do another video?
Right now? Well, you can't have that.
No.
But maybe.
See, the problem is, guys, is that we need to regenerate in a way. And by regenerate, we need to sleep, we need to eat, we need to drink. Which reminds me,
a chance to dream.
I haven't finished that study yet, so I need to do software. Anyway, at least I know I'll sleep tonight. So, Gently Brick Railway. Yeah, maybe next time you can join us there. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, well, I'll not say when the next one will come up here because the purpose of of this particular live stream, it's more surprise really. You never know when it's going to come.
Least of all us.
Like Brexit.
Mm.
You don't know when it's come. They say it'll come at some point, but nah. So, well, yeah. Yeah, nothing else for me left to say other than thank you, Dan. Thank you, George, for joining me for tonight.
Thank you.
You've done a fantastically great job in your models, and I congratulate you both. And also, I'd like to thank you to all the 20 people who are watching the stream right now. Thank you so much here for joining in here. I'm so glad this live stream turned out a bit better than the last one I did, which was down to software crashing constantly. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining in, and we'll see you next time. So
bye everybody.
Bye.
Now, where's the off button? Now, would you believe those souls listen to us here? They watch anything, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Hang on, why is the red light still on? Oh shit, still going.